Bring your brushes, bring your palettes, gonna paint that sunset tonight.
Welcome to the 37th annual KVIE Art Auction. Join us all weekend for a celebration of Northern California's visual arts. Over 260 pieces will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite pieces. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/art auction. Then, when your favorite item appears, call 1-844-KVIE-ART to place your bid. Auction proceeds benefit the programs and services of your local PBS station, KVIE. So thank you for watching and bidding. And now let the auction begin.
Show us.
Good evening and welcome to the 2018 KVIE Art Auction. I'm David Lowe, KVIE's President and General Manager, here with Executive Assistant Kelly Rains. And this weekend, we're celebrating 37 years of the Art Auction, a 3-day television event showcasing over 260 pieces of local artwork. If you're tuning in for Washington Week, please tune into our KVIE 2 channel right now. You can also watch it online or tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. right here on KVIE HD.
Each of these pieces was graciously donated in support of the arts mission of KVIE Public Television, and they can be yours. All it takes is a phone call and a bid, and a beautiful piece of artwork might be on your wall as early as tomorrow.
Getting involved is easy to do. You can preview the entire collection online at kvie.org/art auction, or just stay tuned to KVIE this weekend. When you see something you like, call the number on your screen and place that bid.
We have volunteers here throughout the weekend who will help you bid on the art. And if you're the highest bidder, then it's yours.
So now, let's get things started. Take a quick look at how easy it is for you to get involved in this year's auction. And thanks for watching.
Bidding on items is quick and easy to do. First, explore the collection online at kvie.org/art auction, or keep your television tuned to KVIE. When a piece of art catches your eye, call 1-844-KVIE-ART, and a volunteer will assist you. We accept all major credit cards for your art purchase, and a member of our accounting team will confirm your payment within 5 minutes of item sale. Thank you for being part of the KVIE Art Auction, and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned for the Award Winners Collection, coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. This category features the best of this year's auction, carefully selected by the jurors and curator. View all of the art featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction. We are so glad to be here tonight. Hello and welcome to the 2018 KVIE Art Auction. I'm Rob Stewart, and over the next half hour, we'll be celebrating several of the award-winning artists in this year's collection. It's the Jurors Collection. This portion of KVIE Art Auction is sponsored by Crow & Decker, and we would like to thank them for their commitment to supporting the arts on KVIE. Let's start off right now with a bang, and we are going to show you the art that's coming up in the next half hour. It is spectacular and it is beautiful. We begin with item 1A. It is Chasing the Stars at Point Reyes by Joey Valenzuela. It's a photography measuring 16 by 20, and it's on metal. This is a Curator Award, and Dee's going to be telling us all about the Curator Awards coming up. Dee Oldham Neath. Item 1B is Country Road 14 by Candy Famula. She's back. And this is an oil on canvas measuring 12 by 30. Retail is at $750. Dee will tell us why she gave it a Curator's Award coming up. Item 1C is Frida, the 7th by Roseanne Burke. This is oil on linen, measuring 13 by 13. Artist framed, retail value at $550. Item 1D is Supermoon. It's by Nancy Lee Woody. It is spectacularly framed. It's photography measuring 20 by 20. Retail value at $350. And we love that the phones are already ringing. Also, we have the next item, which is just so cool. It's called Soulmate, and it's by Kathy Dana. This is acrylic on canvas measuring 21 by 17. Blue Wing Gallery and Framing did this piece, and it's retailed at $800. And the next item is 1F in Shadows 2 by Fred Gordon. It is a spectacular ceramic measuring 21 by 11 by 3. Retail value is $750, and it is a large piece. During this break, we are pleased to be joined by Dee Oldham Neath, and she is KVIE's on-staff art curator. She's been involved in Second Saturday. Gosh, helped started that for 30 years. She's one of the founders of Second Saturday, and not only curates the annual art auction, but also runs the KVIE Gallery, now in its 4th year of operation, and she's just all around Miss Art. So Dee, good to see you, because we're here
It's good to see you
for the
too.
weekend. Pick up the phones, 1-844-584-3278. Call anyone in the country. Tell them to watch us online, kvie.org/art auction. Okay, to the art and to Dee.
So we're starting off this hour with pieces that were my Curator's Awards, which are selected after the general awards are selected.
By you.
By me. They're kind of some of my personal favorites. This one is by Joey Venezuela. It is a beautiful photograph that's been printed on metal, and it hangs on the wall just like you see it. It was taken in Tamales Bay, which is one of my favorite places. I love it.
And Joey Valenzuela did a phenomenal job with the coloring in this and the sky.
Yeah, it's got a beautiful Milky Way in the background. It's supposed to be kind of the end of a dreamy voyage. The artist explains that it's like somebody that was searching for the stars and searching for their dream, and you know, this is kind of the end of that.
We went to Tamales Bay on Rob on the Road a few years ago, and the sky there is spectacular. It captures beautifully in this photograph on metal with the beautiful wrecked, abandoned boat right there that says Point Reyes.
And I love the treatment of the photograph being put on metal, which means there's no glass between you and the image, so it really feels like you're standing there. It hangs off the wall about an inch, so it sort of has a floating quality when it's hung on the wall.
And the backing of it is about that thick, so it sticks off of your wall nicely.
Yeah.
And it says Chasing Stars. I love to read the back. I always read the back. Chasing Stars at Point Reyes by Joey Valenzuela. And it's just beautiful. And it is right now, we have a bid for $75, which is fantastic. We're looking for another bid at $100. It's an auction when we have more than one bid at one time, so we need the phones to ring on this. We have a great half hour coming up. Dee, Curator's Awards, the ones that you did for this.
There's only 5 of them out of 270 pieces.
That's great.
So we like to start off the auction with the really strong pieces, and I like to start off with kind of the smaller ones. If you have a large collection, it's really easy to find a place for something this size. It's only 16 by 20, but it has a lot of impact. Photography is one of our larger groups, so it's kind of an honor to be put in this little group.
Definitely. Okay, let's go across the studio. We're going to go live to David Lowe, who's in the phone bank. Hey, David.
Hey, how's it going over there? So this is a last person standing kind of auction. When you call in, you want to make that bid high, bid often, and then as long as no one else bids after that certain amount of time, you're going to be the winner. But you have to call in right now. When you see a piece, you don't want to kick yourself in the morning because you didn't bid and then you saw that it went for a price that you could have got. Call 1-844-584-3278. That's KVIE Art. And I think, are we sending it back over?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
All right, thank you, David. And just a reminder, this is the Curator's half-hour selection. Dee is an art expert, so it's a curated half hour by an expert, which is great.
And I want to explain a little bit, since we're just starting off the auction. These pieces get sold in 5 to 10 minutes, which means the minute you see the piece that you want, you need to get on the phone and call now. If there's a piece coming up in this half hour, you should already be on the phone bidding. We've got bids coming in for the next 4 pieces. So get on the phone right now, 1-844-584-3278, so you don't miss your little favorite piece.
That's really important to hear, because if you go online, kvie.org/art auction, you can see all the art coming up, but you can't call on that piece that you want till the half hour hits.
So you see us standing next to it.
Yes. Or during the half hour, or does it have to go live first?
No, it has to, after we introduce them, they're all live.
Okay, gotcha. So at the beginning of each half hour, that's when you can pick up the phone and still call for one that we haven't talked about yet. in depth.
And
okay?
this one just went up.
Great. That means we have an auction. It's at $100, and the person who was on for $75, we're looking for $125. That's great. We love it when an auction starts because we move on to the next piece. And this one is adorable. It's by one of my, I shouldn't say this, but it is truly by one of my favorite artists and people.
Rob's going to get all verklempt.
I love Candy Famula. She is an exquisite artist and human being, and this is a nice long piece. County Road 14, oil on canvas measuring 12 by 30. So you can see how long this is a wide piece. It's very big.
This is such an easy size to place, you know, because you can put it over something.
Over a door?
You know, yeah, or you can put it over your little fireplace. This is a scene from Esparto that she passes all the time. She has a real gift for storytelling in her landscapes. You know, it's not simply just a pretty picture of a landscape. You know, you feel like you're heading somewhere and there's really something going on.
Her pieces are incredibly collected. She did amazing animals in the past. She's done nests. When I wake up in the morning, I see one of her paintings first thing. Her work here, this painting is so finely done. It's amazing.
Well, and it wraps around the side. It's what's called a gallery wrap, which is the reason why it doesn't need to be framed. So it really gives the feeling of looking out a window.
I also want to say that it is now more than ever important to support PBS. Pick up the phones and call 1-844-584-3278. The holidays are just around the corner. You can do all of your shopping this weekend right here, and you can begin it with County Road 14 with Candy Famula's piece. Speaking to her yesterday, she's so excited about this. Tell us more about the painting.
She does a beautiful job with the warm tones down here in this bright, bright blue. It almost has sort of that Sacramento blue that everybody loves.
And the windmill.
You can see almost every single little leaf. It's what they call hyper-realism. You know, if you looked at a tree, Rob, you wouldn't see every single little leaf. But when you look at these little shrubs and the trees in here, you literally do see almost every little leaf. And she's done the same thing. If you want to pan down this way, she's done the same thing with this lovely windmill.
She loves agriculture and she loves barns and the woodwork in this barn. You mentioned the leaves. The woodwork shows it as well. Do you know what else inspires Candy, why she chooses to do so much agriculture work?
Well, she works, you know, she's one of the artists that celebrates her own environment. You know, this is where she lives, this is where she works, this is where she goes. She sits in her studio and paints with her dog by her side. You know, she's not the high-rise artist in New York painting in a loft somewhere.
No, but she could be. And I love what you said about celebrating where you live. And when you get involved and you buy this piece, this wonderful Candy Famula piece, you are supporting where you live and the public broadcasting station that comes into your home. We are a service and we are proud of it. So please support PBS. Indeed, this piece, the blues are spectacular, so are the browns. We have an auction going. We have a $300 bid. That's great. We're still at half of retail value. Dee, where would you put this and why did you pick it?
Well, I picked it because it has a very nice serenity about it. I mean, it's one of those pieces that you can meditate on every time you walk by it. You're not sure if the sun's going up, the sun's coming down, is it the middle of the afternoon, is it early morning? I love the fact that there are, which is different for her, there are no animals or figures in it.
I noticed that, yeah.
You know, so you are part of the landscape when you're looking at it.
I love that.
You know, there's nothing to distract you from that.
Great, now we have an auction going. It just bumped up to $375 on this piece. We're calling up to $400, and as we get higher, the increments go higher as well.
And you've only got about 5 minutes to bid on it. They go really fast. You don't want to call and have them say, sorry, we just closed it.
And 1 minute of that 5 minutes is you getting your phone and calling. So get on the phone right now. David Lowe is standing by in the phone bank with more. David?
Yes, I'm actually standing by in a very busy phone bank, which is great news because it means we're raising money for KVIE, and you're probably going to end up with a great piece of art if you are the winning bidder. And actually, we're in a bidding war right now on item number 1A, Chasing Stars at Point Reyes. We have a couple of people on the line. High bid right now is actually at $250, but there's still room for you. As long as we're still bidding on that, you can call in right now at 1-844 844-584-3278. And we're going to go back to Robin D.
All righty, thank you so much. And check out this next beautiful piece. And I love the size of it, 13 by 13. This is Frida 7 by Roseanne Burke. And it's oil on linen, artist framed, and it is at $5.50. By the way, the last two pieces, we talked about the importance of calling quickly. They are jumping up quickly with leaps and bounds. So please get on the phone now if you're interested in a piece. Dee, take it away.
I was so excited when the artist came in with this piece. It's a smaller piece.
It's gorgeous.
It has a big impact. Not only did she do a beautiful portrait of Frida Kahlo, who's one of, Diego Rivera's wife, but she was one of our most amazing artists that came from the Mexico region. I've seen quite a bit of her work in person. She has a real...
Really?
Frida has a real call to other female artists. She serves as kind of a patron saint, if you would.
There's so much strength in her paintings, too.
Yeah, and what she went through in her life. And Roseanne really pulls that out with this piece. The other thing she did is Frida Kahlo was very well known for her elaborate costumes that she wore and the fabrics that she chose. She made most of her own clothes. So each one of these portraits, and I think there's 24 in all, each one of these portraits, the artist spent quite a bit of time choosing this beautiful, elaborately woven fabric that she's mounted the piece on.
Oh, that's fabric.
So yeah,
I didn't know
she's kind
that.
of paid a little homage to Frida's sense of style and dress, as well as just making a great portrait.
That portrait is absolutely beautiful. Standing right here next to it, it's one of those pieces that you just kind of stare at for a while. It's exquisite.
Well, it's just, it's kind of the year of the strong woman, and this is sort of, Frida made great strides when she was around. She's beloved by the Mexican people.
And she's beloved, period.
Yeah, and she's kind of become a new icon with a lot of the younger artists.
We are looking for a starting bid on this piece for $200. Pick up the phone now because it's going to go just like that. 1-844-584-3278. I want to give you an update. County roads up to 400 and rising. And Dee, this piece you selected yourself for this half hour. What spoke to you in this piece?
It sort of felt like a little treasure, even though it's an interpretation of Frida Kahlo. I just think the artist did such a good job by incorporating the fabric into it and making it feel like she had a real deep attachment to her subject matter.
You spend so much time in the vault, we call it, with all of this art. And you're alone with it a lot.
I know, this was on my desk.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes I take little pieces. It's like having my own private gallery for the month or two before the auction.
And sometimes I ask you question after question, but frankly, what is it that you want to say that I don't ask you? What do you want to say about this piece that you think about when you're alone in your office?
Well, like I said, the piece speaks to me personally because I have a great affection for the subject matter, but I was just so impressed with the way Roseanne kind of took it on. I mean, here's a figure that's very well known for her costuming, and she just did a portrait of the face. She didn't put the dress and the costume in, but then she played off of that by adding her own embellishment with the fabric.
I love that it shows her strength and her boldness without having to show a full portrait.
She did a whole series of these, and each one is individually as strong as the next.
It's absolutely
She brought 4
beautiful.
in, and I only got to choose 1.
Wow. Well, we are looking for a starting bid on this lovely piece by Roseanne Burke. We're looking for $200 to start this piece. It is exquisite. It is a perfect square, 13 by 13. I love square paintings and square work. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
All right, we are going to toss it across the studio.
That's right. I'm standing next to item number 1B. This is County Road number 14. And the current high bid of only $475 towards a retail value of $750. So if you like this piece, there is still time for you, but you've got to call right now. 1-844-584-3278. That's 844-KVIE Art, and tell them you want to bid on item number 1B, County Road 14.
All righty, thank you so much, David. And we're on to the next piece, which is spectacular. Supermoon, We're looking for a starting bid at $100. Soak in this piece because it's going to move quick. This is by Nancy Lee Woody. It's photography, another square, 20 by 20. Artist framed, retail value is $350. We're looking for a starting bid of $100. Dee, take it away.
So the artist
Cool,
took this photograph during the supermoon, which was in November of 2016 at a friend's house up in Shingle Springs. I'm kind of a fan of the traditional photo. This was not photoshopped or any of that. It was just taken directly from the camera and then printed.
Oh, wow. Okay, this took me a minute to stare at and really get. And I see it so beautifully right now. I am stunned that he was that this artist, this photographer, was able to capture this. She did an amazing job.
Yeah, Nancy did a beautiful job, and Nancy did the framing on it too, and it's framed underneath what we call AR, anti-reflective glass. So you really do feel like you're just looking out a window. It has kind of a nice sort of Asian brush. It almost feels like one of those brush paintings.
Yeah,
this artist also paints, and you can see that in her photography.
So I'm still surprised that it's actually a photograph. It's just so, and by the way, that is not to say anything bad about photographs, because photographs are art.
Right.
But I'm just saying I'm surprised that it is a photograph because it looks like also...
Yeah, she definitely approaches her photography with a painter's eye.
It's spectacular. We're looking for a starting bid of $100 on this wonderful piece by Nancy Lee Woody, The Supermoon, and she captured it exquisitely with the branches and the leaves, giving it so much flair. Wonderful, by the way. Frida D just jumped up to $250.
Nice.
That's great. So we need $100 for this piece to get this one started. And grab the phone and call quickly, because once the auction starts on each piece, they go so quickly. You'll see how fast 5 minutes goes.
And again, in this little segment, these are pieces that are fairly easy to place. This is a great piece in your office or your home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a nice size. You can always find a spot for it. And again, I just like it's very moody.
I like to put square photographs or paintings or whatever down low by a lamp anywhere. They just look good.
Yeah, no, and we want to thank her for her donation. I want to remind everybody again that the artists donate their pieces 100%. So
all of it.
When they donate something and it's a $350 value, they're donating that whole $350 to KVIE.
And every dollar goes to your public broadcasting service, which is KVIE. And David, take it away.
Well, I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm standing here next to Frida Kahlo. Okay, actually, it's the piece of art, and it can be yours. You can be the one standing next to it if you call and you are the high bidder. Right now, it's a high bid of just $300, and again, I say just because it's towards a retail value of $550. This is definitely going to be a conversation starter when you get it and put it in your home or office. Don't let it slip away, though. We're going back to Rob and Dee.
You know, Dee just said something cool while David was talking.
I'm just shocked that I'm standing completely across a very large studio, and that Frida Kahlo sings to me all the way over here.
You can really see it from, like, what is that, 40, 50 feet away?
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful little piece.
Absolutely gorgeous. Supermoon, there you see it on your television or your mobile app or however you're watching this on the computer. Oh, fantastic. We just got an opening bid at $100, and County Road and Frida are climbing quickly. Supermoon here, 100.
Yeah, they are going to close out within the next 5 minutes. So if you are interested in any of these pieces, pick up your phone now, call 1-844-584-3278 and get your bid in before it's gone.
I love this next piece. Makes you want to change out your shoes with cool shoelaces. This is Soulmates by Kathy Dana. This is acrylic on canvas, measuring 21 by 17. And this is the Blue Wing Gallery and Framing. Retails for $800. Soulmates is already up to $375. Dee.
It's just a sweet little piece. Everybody knows.
It's cool.
If you know me, that I have a little attachment to the whole retro thing. And I just thought this was, you know, 1950s high school sock hop.
I love it.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful, fun piece. It's got a really fun little frame job on it. It's got this nice bright orange stripe in it that picks up the bright orange in here. I love the way that Kathy is just so unafraid to use color. You know, with the oranges and the reds, a lot of artists don't have a bold palette like that, but I just think she's done
It's
a great fun
really,
painting.
really bold. I want you to also think about, you know, for these pieces, it's not just for your home or for a gift. It could be for an office. It could be for truly anywhere. That's what we love about art, is that when you make art a part of your life.
Well, and the paintings become very personal. I mean, for me, there's, you know, I look at this and I think of somebody that has 3 children.
Yeah,
You know?
or just like shoes.
Yeah, or somebody that you know, and I love the cuffed jeans, but it's another piece that's smaller in stature, but really big in presentation.
And
it looks great from across the room.
It's also very nostalgic. These shoes, actually, they're back in style. They go. It's funny when you get old enough, you see things that have come in and out of style, and
Yeah.
these are ones that won't go out of style. Just like our art here, they are always in style, and they are always collected. It's a jeweled piece, and it is just fantastic.
Well, and she's celebrating friendship in this piece. The artist says that the reason she called it Soulmates is because she is celebrating friends that you keep throughout your life, that maybe you started out with when you were younger, and they're still very important to you.
And no matter how the laces get tattered and torn, friendship still holds you tight.
That's it.
I love that. And the jeans are cool too, by the way. Soulmates right there. It is at $375. That's awesome. Supermoon update at $250. And fantastic. Everything's rocking and rolling, including David across the studio. Hey, David.
That's right. And speaking of Supermoon, I'm standing right next to it right now. This is item number 1D. It's still below retail value. We're looking to make it a bell ringer. We haven't seen the bell ringer yet. The bell rings when we reach the retail value, and then we just go crazy here in the studio. And we can do that for you if you're the winning bidder at that retail value. You want to see it happen. The only way to make it happen is to call 1-844-584-3278. That's KVIE Art, the 844. You want to make this happen. We're going back to Robin D.
This is a spectacular piece, and you'll be able to see how big it is when we come into the studio here off of the image on the screen. That is beautiful. This is Shadows 2 by Fred Gordon. Ceramic measuring 21 by 11 by 3. This would retail for a minimum of $750. We're looking for a starting bid of $175. Dee, I'm not mistaken that Fred is a friend of yours and also is in Dunsmuir, correct?
Yes, Fred is a professional fly fishing guide.
Oh, hence the water in Dunsmuir.
Yeah, we like to call him the fish whisperer. He is also incredibly well known for his ceramic works, a lot of them revolving around fish. He is a great proponent of the rivers and keeping California glorious and the fish happy.
And he's someone always that I know that you've had your eye on. You love his work.
I have worked with Fred Gordon for over 30 years. He's taught at the university level. He's collected all over the world. And this is quintessential Fred Gordon. It's got these beautiful bats. There's a whole painting.
What a beautiful shot right there.
Yeah, they're these beautiful bats, and then he's got the lures on the fish. And
oh, they are bats.
Yeah, see,
I am so slow. They're bats. I love it.
Yeah, so he's got, you know, he's got the wink to night and day, and then I love the little lures with the beading, and there's a little bat right there, a three-dimensional bat. But they're beautiful pieces.
Indoors and out?
Indoors and out.
Okay.
This one I'd be a little careful with just because it's got some stuff that hangs off of it. But right now we've got a bid of $175.
Fantastic.
And it's, you know, ceramic is a great thing for putting in your kitchen. There's so many places where you can't put a painting or something really delicate. And his work looks, you know, really great on a fireplace.
And it stands the test of time as well.
I have one over my kitchen sink that's been there forever, and it can get steamed on and everything. But they're just glorious, and each one of his fish has its own little story and its own personality.
They do, and they're all unique. They're all one of a kind. They're all original, and they're all pieces by Fred. They're just fantastic.
We love Fred.
Fly Fisherman, and this is a beautiful piece right here. You see, it is Shadows 2, and 1-844-584 is the phone number for you to call, 3278, the last 4 digits, or online at kvie.org/art auction. We're going to check in with David over in the phone bank.
That's right. I'm here with item number 1E, Soulmates. We had our preview party on Monday, and this got a lot of attention. And I know you are probably liking it too because we're seeing the bids come in. And I'm joined here by one of our volunteers. Thanks for being here. Show your face a little bit. There we go. And you're helping us all weekend long as well. And that's what it takes, a community of people supporting your PBS station. And you can do your part when you're watching and bidding on the piece that catches your eye. Soulmates right here. Current bid of $400. Make the next bid yours. Rob?
All right, thanks, David. And I'm telling you more about Shadows 2. Tell me about, you wanted to talk about Fred's family.
Yeah, Fred's father was a very well-known watercolorist in the collection of the Crocker and things like that. Fred has a big, huge public piece down at the Sacramento Zoo. That's all fish. So he's very
I
well
didn't know
known
he
for
did
this
that.
work. Yeah.
How cool.
So you can get one for your house.
Yeah, and the auction's on. $225. We're looking for $250 on this piece. And each of the previous pieces in this half hour are crawling up. And Shadows 2 is jumping up now at $250. We're looking for $275. We could keep calling out the increments because they keep coming because people support and we appreciate every bit of that. Dee,
you got about 30 seconds to bid on this piece and the rest
short
of them.
time
Yeah.
to get involved in this past half hour because, my gosh, I blinked and 30 minutes went by. That's how fast the auction goes, so get quick online or on the phone. Stay tuned because there's much more art coming up in the next half hour in the KVIE Art Auction. We're glad you're with us.
What's wrong with following the proven method? Isn't that the surest way to produce satisfactory results? Today, simply producing satisfactory results isn't good enough. We live in a rapidly changing landscape. Those changes require new solutions. Innovation challenges the idea that old solutions will continue to solve today's problems.
KVIE is committed to the visual and performing arts through national productions like Great Performances and drama with Poldark and Victoria, to our local production of KVIE Arts Showcase and the KVIE Gallery, now in its 4th year of celebrating award-winning auction artists and California Masters. Our commitment to the arts stays strong because of your participation as a donor and an art buyer. Thank you for being part of the KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned for Landscapes coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Juried by Bob Miller, this collection celebrates beautiful landscapes in all media. View all of the art featured in this year's art auction at kvie.org/art auction.
And all that applause is for you because we're so glad you're watching. Hello again, I'm Rob Stewart and we're back with more incredible art. This break features beautiful collections of landscapes that are really going to brighten the wall of your home or your office or of a loved one. Let's take a look at the art that's in this half hour. It's exquisite. We love our landscapes. This is Sierra Foothills in the Spring by Paulette Pesavento. This is an oil on canvas and it is 19 by 22. It's just beautiful. Choice Framing did this, retail value at $500. And Paulette's piece, Dee will tell us more about that coming up in a minute. The next one that you see here right now is 2B, Mystery Fog 2 by Patricia Prendergast. This is a pastels measuring 23 by 27. And the retail value of this one is $850. The next piece is 2C. It's Mountain's Majesty, number 2, Mountain's Majesty 2 by Rhonda Egan. It's oil on canvas, measuring 16 by 20. Just look at that. It's just beautiful. Also, the next piece is item 2D. It's Sheep Farm by Patrice Miller. And Patrice is fantastic. This is an oil on canvas measuring 24 by 20. I'll tell you what she said at the preview gala coming up. Choice Framing did this. This retails for $680. It's a big piece. I'm looking at it from across the studio. Item 2E is even bigger. It's Shadow of the Giant by El Etowaki, the one-name wonder, El Etowaki. I like that. Acrylic on canvas measuring 36 by 36, so it's 3 feet by 3 feet. Choice Framing, retail values, wow, at $350.
I know.
That's priced low. Okay. And item 2F is Calistoga Garden by Deborah Harmon. If you love Calistoga or know someone that does, call them or pick up the phone or go online. It's oil on canvas measuring 24 by 20. Choice Framing did this, and it's retailed at $400. During this break, we're joined once again by our KVIE art curator, Dee Oldenneath, and my pal.
I know, you just can't get rid of me.
I love being with you, Dee, and I love being with art because it really, this is Northern California's largest art collection for the weekend, largest art gallery, I should say.
This next group of paintings, I'd just like to put a shout out. Choice Framing did all the framing. We had a bunch of frame shops that helped us out. So not only are you picking up a professional painting, but it's professionally framed and ready to go home.
That's fantastic.
So let's
Absolutely.
Talk about
They're in Elk
Paulette
Grove.
Pesavato, and she has been in the art auction so many times. And this is just such a sweet, sweet, sweet little piece. It's right in the Sierra foothills.
And it's not that little.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty good size. It's the Sierra foothills.
Oh,
look at, I know.
Aren't they pretty?
Rob always gets up close to him and notices something he hasn't seen.
And look at the
before
red in the tree, Dee.
Yeah,
isn't that pretty?
The sheep, and there's cows in there somewhere. She's got the sheeps and the cows. And,
oh, here are the cows in the back. Yep.
She did this plein air, which means she started the piece outside. She set up her easel. She stood on this hill and worked out in the sun. And then she finished the piece when she got back to her studio.
It's fantastic. So she sort of captures the scene in the field and then goes in and does her master work.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. They varnish it and finish it up and sign it in the studio. And then Choice Framing did a beautiful job. They won Best Frame Shop last year. They always have a really good eye. They put this beautiful burl frame on it that's got a really nice
organic... What's that mean, burl?
Burl is a type of a wood that's normally pretty expensive.
But is it put on top? Is this a layer of burl, or is the whole?
Veneer that's
it's a veneer. Okay.
A burl veneer that's put on top. Most of these frames come from Italy. It's absolutely gorgeous. It works with the piece really well, and it makes just a lovely, lovely presentation. And we want to thank both the artist and the framer for getting this piece to us.
It's absolutely beautiful. This is Sierra Foothills in the spring. It is a starting piece at $100. The retail value would start at $500. This piece is live right now. I do see our phone bank is packed, so pick up the phone and call 1-844-KVIE Art to get your bid in. We're going to go across the studio. Let's talk to Kelly Raines. Hey, Kelly, who is also an artist.
We want to get these phones ringing. The number to call is 1-844-584-3278. That's 844-KVIE Art, 584-3278. There's a cacophony of sounds over here. It's the phones. You need to add to that music. Now is the time, and we're going to go over back to Rob and Dee. Rob?
Love it, because we just hit 100 on this piece, Sierra Foothills in the spring. Now we're at 200, so the auction is on. Get in and get in quickly. This oil on canvas is just beautiful, Dee, and this piece, you put it in this half hour. Why?
I wanted it, these pieces all, I'm a big fan of California landscape. I have a house up in the mountains. I spend a lot of time hiking and fishing and things like that. And all of these pieces have that feel to me. I'm standing here and I feel like I'm up in the foothills and watching those little sheep graze.
There's a majesty about California landscape that you see in nature. And this artist has done a wonderful job capturing it in this beautiful piece on an oil on canvas. The clouds are beautiful, the blue, the leaves, you know, as compared to the piece we looked at by Candy Famula, these leaves are more.
This is more impressionistic. She's a big fan of the Impressionists. So, you know, there's just the suggestion of the leaves in the tree and the suggestion of the grass fronds down here. You know those are sheep, but they're just kind of blended in a little bit. She does a beautiful job, again, combining all of this rich red and the bright green.
It's beautiful.
With that beautiful blue sky. That is our California blue sky.
It really, really is. And that's hard to capture.
Yeah.
But boy, did she do a great job of that. Okay, great. It's up to 250, now 300. So that piece is just flying up. That's great. So when they start rolling, we start moving. And I wish you could see the cameras moving too, because as we move, there's just a whole movement across the studio. It's so cool.
It makes you feel kind of important.
It's just neat to see.
Around.
We have such an amazing team here. And we got to give a big shout out to all of them who are on camera right now and in the control room. Everybody's doing a great job. Okay, this is item 2B, Mystery Fog 2 by Patricia Prendergast. And this is pastels.
And it is the American River.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful, beautiful American River.
Opening for $250.
Yeah, and again, choice framing knocked it out of the park with the framing on this.
So pastel, does it have to be away from glass?
Yeah, they put in a really nice barrier here, a little fillet that matches the outside frame that holds the pastel back from the glass so it doesn't smear at all. I have such a respect for Patricia Prendergast. Pastel is a difficult thing to work with. You know, all you have to do is wipe your sleeve across that and it's gone.
Wow, wow.
So that's why it's got that sort of delicate, I mean, it almost feels like it just floats on the paper.
Does pastel hold and stand the test of time? Will it stay?
Oh yeah, pastel's been around hundreds and hundreds of years. The biggest thing is to get it in the correct framing and protect it.
To hold it, yeah.
Yeah.
So this piece is Mystery Fog 2. It is 23 by 27. Beautifully framed. Patricia did a fantastic job on this piece. Dee, I know you spoke to Patricia. What is it about this artist and this piece?
Well, Patricia's very drawn to the American River in the mornings, and it is gorgeous if you ever, you know, to watch the sun come up and hit that water.
A great place to peek at it is Effie Yaw Nature Center, open to the public every day of the year.
You just went there. Yeah, it's a great place to fish too. But what I love about this is she's done all these really nice, my mom likes to call the color aubergine, but we call it sort of a purple. Oh. It's all done in a really beautiful palette of lavenders and purples. And, you know, you got a little bit of the bright orange down here, so it really has that misty morning feel.
It's beautiful. And I'm looking at it also right here on screen. The colors just pop so beautifully, and they do that standing next to it as well.
Yeah, no, she's done a gorgeous job. It's a beautiful, an amazing little gift if you know somebody that the American River is important to them. They're from this area. You know, people love to take a little bit of their hometown with them when they move, or, you know, you're in San Francisco and you don't get the river anymore.
It's absolutely beautiful. Let's check in with Kelly Rains in the studio. Kelly is also a pastels artist. Kelly.
Thanks, Rob and Dee. I'm here with item 2A. This is Sierra Foothills in the spring. We've got a bid of $325. We're looking for a bid of $350. And the other important number to call is 1-844-584-3278. That's 844-584-3278 for item 2A. We're going to go back over to Rob and Dee. Rob?
All righty. Thank you so much. Dee, do you happen to know exactly where this is?
The artist lives near the American River, and so this is somewhere up near the H Street Bridge.
Oh.
And it was done from the levee.
That's cool.
So she's got a really good knowledge of that whole area.
It's absolutely beautiful, and I love pastels. Are they multi-layered?
Yeah, she layers it on. She uses a little bit of alcohol on a brush to kind of work her pastel.
On a brush to
it kind of works the pastel in a little bit, and then she goes back over it to get these nice crisp little lines.
It's just beautiful. Oh, and we are looking great. We're looking for a $250 starting bid. That's a great deal. I want to update you on Mystery Fog 2. That's up to $275. This piece we're looking for a starting bid. Take a look. At $250. Don't look long because you'll need to grab the phone or go online because they go very fast.
And you can pick it up tomorrow and put it on your wall by noon.
Yes, you can. That is one of the great things about this auction is you can pick it up literally the next day. In some cases, the same day.
Yeah. Now we have pick up and pay all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and all day Monday.
Pick up and pay. I like
it.
that. All right, let's keep moving on to this next piece. It's absolutely beautiful, and I know I keep saying that, but it's just the truth. And this is 2C. It is Mountains Majesty 2 by Rhonda Egan. It's an oil on canvas, and it is measuring in at 16 by 20. Dee, tell us about this piece and why you wanted to have it in the show.
We're stepping out of California a little bit. This is in Colorado. This was painted completely plein air at 11,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, she went, she hiked in near the Continental Divide up in the Colorado Rockies.
That's very cool.
And Rhonda spent a couple days up there painting plein air, and this piece was probably why it's a little smaller in stature, because she had to hike all the way down the hill with it.
Yeah, that's true. This, oh, look at there. We have Mystery Fog. That's up to 600D. Check it out.
Oh,
and now
good.
this is up to 250. So the auction is rocking and rolling.
Okay.
Get in.
One of the things I love about this painting is this artist, this is a painting, and this artist didn't use a single paintbrush.
No.
It was all done with a palette knife.
Really?
Which means she took the paint on the palette knife and almost sculpted the paint into the canvas.
Get out.
Well, she was standing at 11,000 square feet.
Even
1,100 square feet up.
even the fine points on there?
Yeah, it was all done with a palette knife.
Unbelievable. Look at that. If you can see it on your screen, it's unbelievable. Let's check in with Kelly Rains across the studio. Kelly, we're going to you. Let's do it.
This is item 2B. Jason is holding it for me. This is Mystery Fog 2. We've got a bid of $700. We're looking for a bid of $725. $725 from item 2B. We have a few calls. The number to call is 844-584-3278. And this is Mystery Fog. We're looking for a bid of $725. The time to call is now. We're going to go back over to Rob and Dee. Rob?
All right. Thank you so much. And tell me more about this, the palette, the palette painting.
The reason the artist uses a palette knife is when you use a brush, it's really hard to clean the color you just used off the brush, and it melds all the colors together. So when she's working on oil like this, with the palette knife, you can just wipe it off and put the next color on. So that's why she's got this really nice bright pink that sits on top, but doesn't mix with the green underneath.
It's beautiful. And I'm wondering if she had to do this in layers.
Yeah, that's why you see the bright green above the dark green.
Oh, look at that, Dee. Look at it on.
Yeah, and to stand, I'm always impressed with people that do plein air. It seems to bring kind of a breath into the piece that you don't get so much from studio work.
I love it. It really, really,
it's a beautiful little piece, and it's a great price.
Oh yeah, now it's at $250, $275. We're looking for $300. Check out Mystery Fog up to $700. That's great. Mountains Majesty 2 is at $275 right now, calling for $300. And just look at the colors, how beautiful they are in this one-of-a-kind piece. And Rhonda Egan did a phenomenal job. $275, go to $300. Dee?
Rhonda's a regular contributor to the KVIE Art Auction. Remember, these pieces are curated and selected in. These are pieces that you would see for sale at the retail price in any gallery. These are not leftovers from their last show.
There never are.
Yeah, many of these pieces, the artists have invited me into their studios and let me select from their best work.
And I do want to point out, of all of the work that you're going to see on air this weekend, there were tons more submitted.
Oh yeah, there was almost 800 submissions.
Wow.
There were 270 pieces in the collection. 165 of those were selected from that 800.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
it's not easy to get in.
No, it's not easy to get in, but I do love the fact that you put a year, 1 year, into curating this collection.
Yeah, it takes a long time to put it together.
It's not easy. This piece is now at $275. That's great. We're going to move on to the next one because look at this. I love Patrice's work. She always blows me away. Every time she does something, she just does a great job. She has a signature style, and this is quintessential Patrice. Tell me about it.
Well, Patrice is a big Sacramento favorite. She has a studio downtown that's open during second Saturdays. She teaches
in Oak Park.
Yeah.
It used to be the post office, and now it's this really cool artist. And I took an art class from her. She can teach.
She teaches really well. She's inspired a whole nother generation of artists. Again, this was framed by Choice Framing. They did a really fun job with this because I absolutely adore this barn wood, which works really well with said barn.
I love the barn, too. The barn is so beautiful. The red is just adorable.
And she's got this little liner in here. Again, we have the pastoral scene of the sheep grazing and the beautiful kind of misty background.
Those trees are absolutely beautiful, too.
And again, it was painted plein air.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was painted plein air. It's got that just breath of fresh air that comes with working outside.
Pardon me. Eucalyptus, not sycamore. I said the wrong tree. It's and so Sheep Farm is right now, we're looking for a $200 starting bid, which I can tell you is a phenomenally low amount for a Patrice original. This is Patrice Miller's beautiful painting here at PBS. Let's go across the studio to Kelly. She has an update on the last piece.
This is item 2C, Mountain's Majesty. We have a bid of $350. We're looking for a bid of $375. And the number to call to make that bid is 1-844-KVIE Art. That's 844-584-3278. It's a little busy in here. We want it to be even busier. This is Mountain's Majesty, and we're going to go back over to Rob and Dee. Rob?
One of the things that Patrice shared with me is that art was her second career. Her mother, before her mother passed away, said, do what makes you happy. And she became an artist.
Well.
And I'll be darned if what she does now doesn't make other people happy.
Well, and she passes on her skills. Like I said, she's an excellent teacher. She's definitely got her own style. And this is an oil painting, and it's a pretty good size. And she works mainly in oils. She does some work in acrylics. The
composition of this, you know, as far as the greens and the reds.
She's got this really strong horizon line with the green, and the red is just a nice little spot of color. And, you know, it's not a KVIE art auction without at least one barn painting.
This is true, one or two.
I mean, that is our landscape. And she's done a great job on these beautiful trees. You can almost sort of hear the breeze coming through them. And again, there's that beautiful California sky. Also, looking next to it, you can see, I love it when you can see the paint sticking off of the canvas. And this is a nice thick piece. We have $200, that's great. Boom, now we have $250. We're looking for $300. This auction is moving fast. Wow, Mystery Fog is up to $950, which is a bell ringer. That's fantastic. Let's go to Kelly across the studio for an update. Hey, Kelly. Yay!
This is item 2B.
Yeah, so we're coming to you in a minute. This is Patrice's piece, but we're going to go to Kelly in a minute. She's going to give us an update. Patrice's piece is now up to $300.
Yeah, there's
so we're seeing the numbers grow before they actually get on. There's Kelly.
Ringer. That was item 2B. I'll ring the bell again. That's item 2B. It's our first bell ringer of the evening. And the number to call to make more bell ringers is 844-584-3278. That's 844-KVIE Art. Call now. And we're going to go back over to Rob and Dee. Rob?
Okay, thank you so much. And Sheep Farm is up to $325. A beautiful piece by Patrice and her sheep. And just beautiful.
I want to remind everybody really quick, when we have a bell ringer, that does not mean we've closed out the bidding. It continues bidding. Anything you pay above retail is a tax-deductible donation to KVIE.
Great, wonderful.
So once you get to that retail, just keep going.
So when you hear the bells ring, don't say, oh man, if it wasn't for you, because guess what? You can still place your bid. All right, this piece is, thank you, Patrice, by the way, for that last piece, and the auction's going great on that one. This next one is Shadow of the Giant. It is gorgeous. Soak it in. This is acrylic on canvas. It measures 36 by 36. It's 3 feet by 3 feet. Beautiful. Retail value is at $350. That seems very low to me.
Yes, it's the Grand Tetons.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Dee, why did you pick this piece? And this is by El Etowaki.
The artist talks about traveling grew up in Las Vegas and talks about that family trip, you know, where they used to throw all the kids in the big station wagon and travel cross country. And that's sort of the inspiration for this. This is a portrait of the Grand Tetons. I love the artist's use of big, bold brush strokes.
I do too. And you can see them on here.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice size. It's a very commanding piece. Again, Choice Framing has done a beautiful job with this Italian wood frame.
Oh yeah,
it's got a nice rustic feel to it and really works with the piece. So it's ready to go home. I kind of think, you know, if the artist is listening, that they've undervalued their work a bit. But this is a spectacular painting at a $300 level.
So the artist, if the artist heard that, if El Etowaki heard that, raise your prices. But if you're listening and you're not the artist, you better buy it quickly. So this is Shadow of the Giant. We're looking for a starting bid of $100 for this beautiful piece that you only can get. All the pieces you're seeing this weekend, the only place you can get them is right here where you are. And
every piece is an original. We don't have any prints or copies or anything like that. It's an original painting. It's 36 by 36. Again, it's called Shadow of the Giant. Right now, we've got a bid of $150 on a $350 retail.
Wonderful. We're going to check in with Kelly, but again, everything's original. Over to you,
This
Kelly.
is item 2D. This is Sheep Farm. We have a bid of $550. We're looking for a bid of $575. And the number to call, you're going to hear it a lot. You can't hear it enough. It's 844-584-3278. That's 844-KVIE Art. We're looking for a bid of $625. Support local public television. This is KVIE. And keep calling. This is item 2D, Sheep Farm. And we're going to go over to D and Rob. Rob?
Fantastic. And we're seeing the numbers climb. Sheep Farm up to 600. That's almost at bell ringer status. Shadow of the Giant now at 150.
The artist talks about using acrylics because she likes the way they dry really fast. So it's an immediate reaction. She says she holds up in her studio for days at a time and creates her own windows. And that's what this feels like to me.
It's really, really fantastic. Iliwaki did a great job on this. I love the one name artist.
And it's,
really
I
cool.
believe, the artist's first time in the art auction.
Well, did a great job, absolutely great job, especially capturing the Grand Tetons. It's such a majestic thing to see. I saw elks. We did stories on elks that grazed in front of them, and it was just exquisite. This is exactly what they look like.
No, it's a beautiful, beautiful rendition. And again, you can pick it up tomorrow and have it on your wall.
Isn't that great? I
By
love that we do
supper time.
that. I love that. $150 right now for the Shadow of the Giant. The retail value is at $350. And as we said, that is a very lowly priced retail value. Anything that you pay over the retail value is a tax write-off.
And you can pick it up tomorrow right here at the studios from noon to 5 tomorrow or noon to 5 on Sunday. Everything is wrapped professionally. We even have nice little art handlers. We've seen a couple of them today that will carry it to your car.
And if you're not in town, we also have ways of dealing with that if you're going to be calling or having someone watch online anywhere in the country or the world for that matter. All right, let's check our next piece of art. It's exquisite. It's Calistoga Garden by Deborah Harmon. It's oil on canvas, measuring 24 by 20. And the colors are spectacular. Calistoga is just a lovely, lovely place. And it's good to see their art being celebrated right here on television right now.
It so has the colors of Calistoga.
It really does.
It's got that beautiful dappling sun and that really great little garden going on.
Deborah Harmon, this is a $400 retail. And we're looking for a starting bid of $100. So let's get this going.
And again, thank you, Choice Framing, for a beautiful, I love their choice in framing. You know, it has
Is that their slogan?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. It should be. It has a real beautiful feel. It feels like Calistoga with this nice sort of architectural treatment in the frame, which kind of mimics these little buildings in the background. What a great gift if you're somebody that goes to Calistoga a lot. Perhaps you live there. Maybe that's where you had your honeymoon or something important that happened with you. To me, it's a great way to remember a beautiful place.
And the colors of the flowers in here, I love the colors that were selected for the flowers.
And she uses kind of a limited palette. You know, she's repeating, she's repeating the same colors in different ways, and it works so well.
Okay, all right. Shadow of the Giant is up to $200. That's the Grand Tetons piece you saw. That's climbing. We need a $100 starting bid on Calistoga Garden. And this landscapes half hour has just been gangbuster, Dee. You did a great job.
It's a beautiful little set of paintings.
It is.
And I like them. These are all very traditional landscapes done in so many different ways. You know, I like the bright poppy palette that this artist has used.
I do too.
And it has that, you know, beautiful Calistoga freshness about it.
And it's oil. And that's interesting because it is it hugs the canvas, and it's saturated in there.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was acrylic.
Well, and she's got this little, the kind of a stickle where she's used the brush. You know, there is a little raising here and there, but I love the way she's been really brave with the use of the purple as a shadow instead of just making it a plain gray.
And the flowers are peeking through the railing as well, and they're popping off of the canvas. as well on that. Let's go over to Kelly Rain. She's right around the corner in the phone bank.
I'm in the phone bank, and Jenny, you can't see her, but she's behind this painting. This is item 2E. It's got a retail value of $350. We want a bell ringer, so let's get it up to $300 and get closer to that bell ringer status. 844-584-3278 is the number to call. That's KVIE Art. And Jenny's behind this painting, but you want this painting on your wall. And item 2E, Shadow of the Giant. Let's make it a bell ringer. It's at $200 right now. Let's get it up to $300. Shadow of the Giant, item 2E. We're going to go back over to Rob. Rob?
That's fantastic to see Calistoga Garden climbing at $150. It is still not even half of the retail value. And as Kelly just said, Shadow of the Giant's at $200. Dee, this piece, you selected all the pieces, and this is one that really stuck out to you as you spent time with it in the vault, which is this big room where all the art is locked up.
No, nobody gets in there but me.
I've snuck in a couple of times since I have others, but we don't touch anything.
No touching.
We just look, but to get excited.
Yeah, this was a really sweet little group of landscapes. I really liked this one when it came in. I like her choice of color. And again, there's something nice about a smaller piece that's easy to place.
Okay, well, we are out of time in this half hour. It goes fast, and so does the piece that you want. So pick up the phone and call quickly, 844-584-3278, or go online. And stay tuned, because there's much more art coming up in the next half hour. We're live all weekend. Stay with the KVIE Art Auction.
Bring your brushes, bring your palettes, gonna paint that sunset tonight.
Welcome to the 37th annual KVIE Art Auction. Join us all weekend for a celebration of Northern California's visual arts. Over 260 pieces will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite pieces. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/art auction. Then, when your favorite item appears, call 1-844-KVIE-ART to place your bid. Auction proceeds benefit the programs and services of your local PBS station, KVIE. So thank you for watching and bidding. And now, let the auction begin.
Show us the way how to create. Down the rivers and through the valley from
Picking up your purchased art is quick and easy to do. Visit KVIE Studios Saturday through Tuesday during these posted hours to claim your art. All purchased art must be claimed within 30 days of auction closure. For questions, location, and hours, visit kvie.org/art auction. Thank you for being part of the KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned for Watercolors, coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. This collection celebrates the delicate medium of watercolor and the beauty of floral and natural scenes. View all of the art featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction.
Hello and welcome to the 2018 KVIE Art Auction. I'm Christina Salerno, and over the next half hour, you will have the opportunity to bid on and buy original works of art featured in the watercolor collection. This portion of the KVIE Art Auction is sponsored by Crow & Decker, and we would like to thank them for their commitment to supporting the arts on KVIE. And now, here's an overview of the art that will be up to bid in the next half an hour. Item 3A is Napa Liquid Assets by Sharon Gerber. This is watercolor measuring 24 by 28. It's framed by Midtown Framing. The retail value is $750. Item 3B is Sunburst by Diane Pargament. This is watercolor measuring 15 by 24. The retail value is $450. Item 3C is Four Calla Lilies by Patricia McToole-Hewell. This is watercolor measuring 16 by 20. The retail value is $425. Item 3D is End of the Road by Robert Wise. This is watercolor measuring 28 by 22. It's artist framed, and the retail value is $400. Item 3E is Sierra Waterfall by Mim Meekin. This is watercolor measuring 16 by 20. The retail value is $285. Item 3F is fan number 4 by Lauren Landau. This is watercolor measuring 31 by 38. It's framed by Archival Gallery, and the retail value is $1,200. During this break, we are pleased to be joined by Maria Winkler. Maria is the Professor Emeritus from the Art Department at Sac State, and she holds an MFA in Painting and Drawing and a PhD in Art Education. She is a longtime contributor to the KVIE Art Auction and has been a featured artist in the KVIE Gallery. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you.
Well, let's just jump right in. Let's go ahead and start with this one. This is called Napa Liquid Assets, and this is for all of those wine lovers out there. What can you tell me? Let's start with the title of the painting. What's it about?
Well, the title is called Napa Liquid Assets, and Sharon and her husband met in Napa, and they were married in Napa, and they love wine, so she's very drawn to Napa wine. And she used to be an event planner, and one of her biggest events was a liquidity event for businesses who were introducing a new IPO or selling them, and she was the beverage person who was having the beverages, which were Napa wines. So the reason this is titled is that the best liquid assets are from Northern California are Napa wines.
Well, tell me a little bit about the style of this. You can almost see the reflection off of these wine bottles in this wine glass here. Can you talk a little bit about the style the artist is using?
Yes, this is watercolor, and she has overlaid areas of watercolor with other layers. So it isn't quite as transparent as some people utilize watercolors, but hers is more opaque, and it's a very strong and bold painting. You have really good contrast between darks and lights, a very strong composition that is a close-up so that you really see the shapes of the bottles and you can see through the bottles. So it's translucent. And it's really an excellent watercolor.
Oh, it's beautiful. We're going to take 1 second and throw it over to the phone bank.
Good evening, Sacramento. Hi, I'm Clayton Whitehead. It is a pleasure to be at the KVIE Art Auction tonight. I have here item number 2F, Calistoga Garden. This is from our last set. It'll be closing in just a few seconds, so go to your phones now. We're currently at $200. We're looking for a bid of $250 for Calistoga Garden, the stunning piece. Go to your phones now. Now back to the auction.
Thank you. Just a reminder, we're standing here at Napa Liquid Assets with a retail value of $750. We're looking for a starting bid of $225. Maria, what can you tell me about the frame on this beautiful piece?
This frame is spectacular with this painting. It is a very high quality frame. The sheen and the shape is very complementary to the wine and the bottles. You have the curve here and you have the curves in the bottles and the wine. I think it really sets the painting off beautifully, and this is double matted. You can see a color here so that there is an inner matte that picks up the browns and then the white matte on top of it.
This would be a perfect piece. Maybe you have a wine collection at home or a wine cabinet. This would look absolutely lovely next to that. We were talking to the artist a little bit before, and she said that with this piece, you can add to your art collection at the same time you're adding to your wine collection. So we certainly hope that you call in and do that. The number to call in is 1-844-584-3278. Fantastic. We already have a starting bid of $225. Let's see that number go up. Maria, what else can you tell me about this beautiful painting?
Well, considering that Sharon has only been exhibiting professionally for 4.5 years, she's remarkably adept at watercolor. I'm really impressed with the quality of the work.
It's very realistic. I can almost see this glass of wine on a table with these bottles next to you. You're enjoying some drinks with friends and the corks laying there. It has a very realistic feel to it.
Yes, and yet it's very strong compositionally, and it has good pattern and shape and good color balance. And you have the red here, which is like a focal point, which is off center. So your eye is attracted here, and then you have the repetition of the lavenders and the violets.
Well, we're going to keep that one open. We hope you keep calling on Napa Liquid Assets, and we're going to move on to our next piece. Our next piece is item 3B. It's Sunburst by Diane Pargament. This is watercolor measuring 15 by 24, and the retail value is $450. Maria, what I love about this piece is there's some really striking colors in this. You have this bright, bright yellow, and you have a blue and some beautiful oranges there. Tell me a little bit about the colors this artist is using.
Well, blue and orange are complementary colors, which means they are directly opposite on the color wheel. And usually if you use complementary colors, it creates a lot of excitement. It's a very vivid combination. Couple that with the yellows, it's really bright, and I believe she intended to show the sunflowers bursting open.
It certainly feels like that. With Sunburst, this has a retail value of $450. We have a high bid of $200. We'd love for you to call in and get this piece in your home. The number is 1-844-584-3278. Tell me a little bit more about the perspective. It feels very close, very intimate.
Well, you have this in the foreground, which is very close to you, and then you have the mister, the plant mister right back here. What's interesting about watercolor is the white has to be the white of the paper. There is no white paint in watercolor. So you have to be very careful not to you have to preserve the white so that watercolor doesn't go into it if you want to keep it, because you can never get it back again. And she's done a very good job of all these little white areas, which really are the paper itself.
It's really beautiful, really intricately done. We're going to take a quick second and toss it over to the phone bank because we have a very special guest joining us today.
Good evening, friends. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Steve Garcia of Studio G Salon, there we are, in the pavilions right here in Sacramento. And he's the one who has made all of the folks you're seeing tonight, who's made our hair look so wonderful. So, Steve, thank you for your contribution to KVIE.
Thank you so much.
Now, back to the auction.
This was painted in her studio.
Thank you so much. So tell me a little bit about this piece. Was this painted in person, in the studio? How was it done?
She has a studio, and these flowers were on her kitchen table. And so many artists use the objects that are in their environment. And she really loved the flowers. So I can see that there's a lot of personal investment in this painting.
It does feel very personal. It would be a beautiful piece to have in your home. Something that I could see this on somebody's, kitchen around their table where they do have flowers. It's a lovely piece. We have a high bid of $250. Again, the retail value is $450. We'd love to see that number go up. The number to call if you'd like this piece is 1-844-584-3278. What else stands out to this?
Well, I do want to point out that this once again is a double matte. This time the matte is white on white, but what it does, it gives it a little depth to the painting.
It kind of pops.
It does, and then the dark frame also picks up the darks in the painting, so it's very compatible.
This little detail right here, what could that possibly be there?
This is a plant mister.
Oh, nice, to keep the flowers fresh. Let's go ahead and check in with the phone bank.
Here we are. Here we are in the phone bank with item number 3A, Napa Liquid Assets. I happen to have the artist here, Ms. Sharon Gerber, and she's going to tell us a little bit about why she always donates to the art auction.
Well, thank you, Dee, and I'm very honored because this is the 5th year that I have been a donor of art to the art auction. I've only been painting for 6 years, so I feel very proud of that record. And the reason I donate, I have been a fan of KVIE since I moved to Sacramento in '96. I served on the board for 9 years, and I don't believe there is any organization in this town that provides such a wonderful tribute to this community and does so much to educate and entertain Sacramento and the region than KVIE. So if my paintings and the monies they raise in the art auction can help promote that, entrepreneurial spirit of this organization, then I am just so proud to be a part of it.
Thank you, Sharon. And right now, the item number 3A, we have a bid of $450. I'm looking for $500. We're going to go back out to Maria Winkler, and she's going to tell us some more about that lovely watercolor.
Thank you so much. We are standing here at item 3C, which is 4 Calla Lilies by Patricia Toole McHugh. This is a watercolor measuring 16 by 20. The retail value is $425. And we already have a bid of $100 on this beautiful piece. Please call in if you'd like this one in your home. What can you tell me about this lovely piece?
Well, Patricia finished this at the Sacramento Fine Arts Center. She's a very accomplished artist. She taught for many years at Sacramento City College. In fact, 1961 to 1987. So she was a very important faculty member. And I believe she describes this piece as she really likes the conical shapes of the calla lilies. And I think what is really interesting is the pink on either side, which gives the only hot color for the painting, which really brings out all the greens.
It's a beautiful color. It's almost a rose color. It looks like it's sitting in a vase. It looks like it's sitting there with these beautiful calla lilies on your table. It's a gorgeous piece. It would look lovely in anybody's home. The number to call if you'd like this piece is 1-844-584-3278. We have a bid of $100 right now with a retail value of $425. It's another one of those very close, very intimate pictures with some beautiful details. Can you talk a little bit about the details of the flowers?
Well, the calla lily, as you know, is a cone shape, and you can see the stamen inside, and it's very graceful flower. So this is very graceful and light, and the color matte around it picks up the blues in the painting. So this is a very nice frame job in that all the colors in the matting and the frame are complementary to the piece.
It's a calming piece. It's something I could picture perhaps in your bedroom. It's got a nice kind of style and color palette to it that's very pleasing.
It's very relaxing.
It absolutely is. What else can you tell me about this?
Well, you notice there's no table here, which is really nice because like many artists, like Van Gogh and other artists, they often focus just on the flowers and the vase.
It draws your eye right to it. There's nothing else to even distract you from these four beautiful calla lilies.
And I like the way the leaves go off the side, so it really cements the piece to the shape of the frame and the mat. It isn't floating. So I think the composition is very, very well done.
It really is. It's a good size picture, and it would fit beautifully in anybody's home. We're going to take a second and we're going to check in with the phone bank.
Hello, friends. It takes 2 or more people to have an auction. So this is my personal invitation to you to go to your phones, dial 844-KVIE Art. That's KVIE Art, 844 KVIE Art, and get involved in the auction. Get those phones ringing, folks. We need to hear from you. Every single bid that we get tonight, every piece of art that we sell goes directly to the bottom line here in supporting public television in Sacramento and throughout the Central Valley. Please call now. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Once again, we're standing here with 4 calla lilies. The retail value of this piece is $425. Right now we have a high bid of $100. If you're interested in having this piece in your home, please call now. These pieces go so quickly. We only have about 5 minutes for them to be kept open. So if you're looking at this piece and you'd like to have it in your house, give us a call. We're at 1-844-584-3278. Maria, what else can you tell me about this?
Well, Patricia is a really accomplished artist who has exhibited many places, and her work is in many collections, one of which is UC Davis Medical Center's permanent collection. So you're buying something that is by a recognized artist who has exhibited extensively.
That's a good point. This is your chance to have original works of art in your home. And the number to do that is 1-844-584-3278. And we'll go ahead and take a second to check in with the phone bank.
Friends, we have Sunburst here. This is piece number 3B. We're currently at $350. We are looking for $400. Why don't you be the next caller and take this beautiful piece of art home? I would bid if I could, if I wasn't working. Look, it matches my tie perfectly. This is Sunburst, beautiful flowers, and this would be stunning hanging in your home. So go to the phones now, 1-844-KVIE Art.
The vintage art.
Thank you. We're standing at item 3D, which is called End of the Road by Robert Wise. This is a watercolor measuring 28 by 22. It's artist framed, and the retail value is $400. This is a fantastic piece. It's very nostalgic, and I think because you instantly go to the focal point of this picture, which is this vintage car. What can you tell me about that?
Well, the vintage car is very exact in terms of being illustrated.
I'm tipping.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, Robert actually is a car historian and was once an illustrator of vintage cars. And he painted this painting specifically for a car show.
You can see all the detail in that car. It's really phenomenal what he's done. You can see the grills and the wheels. I mean, tell me a little bit about what he's done there.
Yes, well, what he's done is watercolor with color pencil on watercolor paper. And he's very careful about getting all the details exact, because as a car historian and specializing in vintage automobiles, he's very conscientious about expressing it exactly as it really is.
Well, End of the Road has a retail value of $400. We have a bell ringer. I'm going to toss it over to Clayton.
Friends, 3B Sunburst, the one I just showed you, is a bell ringer. Congratulations to our lucky bidder at $450. So thank you for calling 1-844-KVIE-ART. If you haven't called yet, please call now and become a part of the auction. We have great art yet to come, and here's the next piece.
That is so exciting. We love to have bell ringers here at KVIE, and we expect many more of those. If you're sitting there thinking you would love to have this piece in your house, now is the time to give us a call. We're at 1-844-584-3278. End of the Road is a beautiful piece. It's almost reminds you of a road trip with your family. So perhaps if this is something you grew up doing with road trips with your family, this would be a wonderful piece to have in your house. What else can you tell me about it?
Well, the painting was made specifically for a show called Cruising the Pines. So what's really unique about it is you have the vintage car and you have the pines. So you have it in a landscape. And the color blue contrasts very nicely with all the warm colors in the car. Robert has a piece in a public collection called the Sprint Car Hall of Fame in Knoxville, Iowa.
It's beautiful. I love the blues that you have here all around it, from the sky to the trees to the water. It's almost like it just kind of flows. It flows down the painting, really.
And the frame is very complimentary. It has a nice brown tones that pick up the vintage car, so it's extremely complimentary. And I think it's just a really unique piece.
Well, I'm just looking at the leaderboard here, and I realize that End of the Road has a high bid of $435. That means this is a bell ringer. That is so exciting. There's the bell. This is a bell ringer. But you can keep bidding. You can keep giving us a call. If this is a piece you would love to have in your home, please give us a call, 1-844-584-3278. Let's take a second and go over to the phone bank.
Friends, I'm joined tonight in the phone bank by our very special guest, Kenny the Bell Ringer. And Kenny is only going to be really, really happy if he gets to ring the bell a whole lot. So if you haven't yet gotten involved in the auction, it's your opportunity now to go to the phones and bid on some of this incredible artwork we have right here at the KVIE 37th Annual Art Auction. This is, I believe, California's largest collection of art. Isn't that right, Kenny? See, Kenny is in total agreement. So go to the phones now, get involved in this auction. You'll not be sorry, and most of all, you'll be helping one of the most incredible organizations in the Central Valley, your public television station, KVIE. Now let's see the next great piece of art that we have. Not yet? Yes?
Our next item is item 3E, which is Sierra Waterfall by Mim Meekin. This is a watercolor measuring 16 by 20, and the retail value is $285. This is a wonderful piece, and great news. Sierra Waterfall already has a high bid of $200. So we're very close to bell ringer status on this. You can hear the bells ringing. They're ringing everywhere because all of these pieces are going so quickly, which is what we love to hear at KVIE. Tell me a little bit about this piece. It has such an interesting perspective.
Well, the artist really likes painting watercolors, especially waterfalls, and this was done in preparation for a demonstration on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about these boulders that surround the waterfall.
Well, this is really unusual. She's taken a cut-up credit card to create the rocks and the boulders on either side of the waterfall.
That's really interesting. And when you look at this perspective, it's almost like you're standing at the bottom of the waterfall.
Yes.
Looking at, you can almost feel the power of the water on you.
And notice the little trees back here, they're very faint, so you really have a sense of distance and perspective. But being having the very bold rocks on either side is such a nice contrast to the water.
It almost has a good balance. You have the balance of the trees on top and the rocks and the water in the middle. It kind of brings balance to you as you're looking at it.
In fact, if you look here, the watercolor is very, it runs in its own natural way, and it's nice to see the paint itself expressing itself as water.
Again, we're standing here with Sierra Waterfall. It has a retail value of $285, and right now we have a high bid of $200. What else can you tell me about this piece?
Well, the artist has been painting for 53 years and went to the Memphis Academy of Art College and learned more techniques in watercolor. And I really like the delicacy of the winter trees against the very large, irregular shapes of the boulders.
It's interesting you said winter, because it does have kind of a chilly, cold feeling about it. The trees are bare, there's no leaves on it, and there's the power of the water coming at you at the same time.
And then yet it's very delicate at the bottom.
It is, yeah. There's a lot to look at this painting. This is something that you can stand there and look at. It could be a fantastic conversation starter in your home. We're going to take 1 minute and go ahead and check in with the phone bank.
Good upsell.
Look at this. We have an auction going on, folks. All the phones are busy. We've got 3 bell ringers going on. 3B Sunburst has a high bid right now of $600. That's a bell ringer. 3C 4 Calla Lilies has a bid of $425. We'd like to make that into a bell ringer. 3D, the end of the road, is at $625. And the Sierra Waterfall has now just reached retail. You've got to call. They go really fast. 1-844-584-3278. Don't let it get away. Let's go back out to Christine.
Thank you so much. So we're standing here with a bell ringer. We just reached, actually it just jumped up to $300. We now have a bid of $300, so it surpassed bell ringer, which is so exciting. If this is a piece that you want in your home, now is the time to call. People are calling in for this one as we speak, and you can see why. It's a perfect size.
It's a great size.
It's 16 by 20. It
and
can
look
go pretty
how
much
simply
anywhere.
it's framed, and this wonderful deep brown is the same brown as the boulders.
It's actually just up to $350. So we have a bidding war going on right now on Sierra Waterfall, $350. So if you want this piece, the bells keep on ringing. If you want that piece, you want to call in now. The number again is 1-844-584-3278. Maybe you go and visit waterfalls. This would be a lovely piece. It's kind of something that you would go and visit and remind you of those times that you spend out in nature.
Yes, and I especially like this little tiny bit of landscape back here, which looks misty and wintry, and has wonderful little watercolor areas that are similar to the bottom.
It's an interesting color palette too. It's all very earthy. The frame is earthy. There's a little touch of green in there.
Right, a little bit of green here and some very deep blue. It's really very nice.
All right, we're going to move on to our next piece, which is 3F. That's fan number 4 by Lauren Landau. This is a watercolor measuring 31 by 38. It's framed by Archival Gallery. The retail value is $1,200. And Lauren is a legacy artist, and this piece was donated by Archival Gallery. So Maria, what can you tell me about this piece? First of all, this is a very large piece. You can tell as we're standing here, this is a very large piece. It would be a beautiful anchor in a home, in a room, and it's kind of got this interesting color palette. Tell me a little bit about the colors here.
Yes, well, Lorene was a friend of mine, and she was an instructor at Sacramento City College for many, many years. She did several series, and this series is from her paper series, where she takes paper, folds it like in this example here with a fan, or weaves it, or does paper bags. And what's interesting is how limited her palette is, and yet she could get these really incredible details and these sharp, sharp folds of the fan. And it almost is also an abstract.
It is. It's very minimalist.
Yes, it is. And she's very good at that. With the control of the watercolor, you can see these gradations that occur with a lot of control, which is hard to achieve. The other thing that strikes me about this painting is the fact that it shows you the entire piece of 300-pound watercolor paper with its natural decal edge. That's unusual. And it's mounted on what looks like a form of linen and then matted with this wonderful little bit of threads that are the same color as some of the browns in here. So it really is a very stunning piece.
It really is, and it's like we said, a beautiful size. This would make a beautiful addition to anybody's home. There's a retail value of $1,200 on this piece. We're looking for a starting bid of $250, which is a fantastic deal for a piece this substantial and this beautiful. It's kind of has a peaceful feeling to it.
I'm very fortunate. I own a piece of Lorraine's from her paper series, which I love. And because there's very few pieces left from her estate, it's an opportunity to own a piece by her because only one is donated every year to KVIE. So it's a unique opportunity.
Well, we have so many bell ringers that we're going to go toss it over to the phone bank to hear a little bit more about that.
We've got 2 bell ringers in a row. They're still open. Item number 3D, End of the Road, retails at $400. The high bid is now $625. It is still open for bidding. 3E Sierra Waterfall is now at $375. That is still opening for bidding. We are looking for a bid of $250 on that beautiful Lorraine Landau. It's gorgeously framed. You can pick it up tomorrow and have it in your home. She's one of our legacy artists. Well-known California artist. Your chance to add her to the collection. Let's look at it again.
Thank you, Dee. What else can you tell me about this artist?
Well, Lorraine was really a very important artist. She has work in the Crocker Art Museum Permanent Collection, and she's won many prestigious awards and has taught at many different colleges and universities. So she's a very accomplished, skilled artist, and it would be a real feather in your cap to own a piece by her.
It certainly could be, and you can own a piece by her. All you have to do is give us a call at 1-844-584-3278. It's fantastic. Right now we have a bid of $300. So if you're interested in this piece, we only keep them up for a few minutes. You can go ahead and give us a call at 1-844-584-3278. And stay tuned because there's more art coming up in the next half an hour in the KVIE Art Auction.
What's wrong with following the proven method? Isn't that the surest way to produce satisfactory results? Today, simply producing satisfactory results isn't good enough. We live in a rapidly changing landscape. Those changes require new solutions. Innovation challenges the idea that old solutions will continue to solve today's problem.
KVIE is committed to the visual and performing arts through national productions like Great Performances and drama with Poldark and Victoria, to our local production of KVIE Arts Showcase and the KVIE Gallery, now in its 4th year of celebrating award-winning auction artists and California masters. Our commitment to the arts stays strong because of your participation as a donor and an art buyer. Thank you for being part of the KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned for Watercolors, coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. This collection celebrates the delicate medium of watercolor and the beauty of floral and natural scenes. View all of the art featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction.
And we're back with another exciting collection of original works of art up for bid. I'm standing here with Maria Winkler, and we have an item in front of us. It is 4A. It's Boulder Path by Richard Meager. This is a watercolor measuring 16 by 20. It's artist framed, and the retail value is $375. Maria, what can you tell me about this piece?
Well, this is from his imagination. And what I really like about it is the atmospheric perspective that you can see in the background. And that means when an artist does that, that the things that are further away are lighter and less distinct and colorful.
I'm going to take a second and we're going to run through some of the other pieces that we have up for this hour.
side.
So right now we're looking at 4D, which is Good Morning Glory by Jan Rowe. This is a watercolor measuring 28 by 35 with a retail value of $600. Item 4E is Glowing Foliage by Megan Bucko. This is a watercolor measuring 16 by 20 by Archival Gallery. The retail value is $450. Item 4F is Horses and Stars by Ruth Morrow. This is a watercolor measuring 30 by 24. The retail value is $550. All right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about this painting.
Okay, so I did mention that what was very remarkable about this is the effect of atmospheric perspective. And he used a limited palette, but he has so many different shades of greens and blues and browns. Considering it's from his imagination, it's very realistic.
It really is. It has kind of a misty feeling, as if you're kind of walking back into the boulder path. What can you kind of tell me about that feeling that it evokes?
Well, look at the shadows on the rocks from the trees. Isn't that nice how the limbs are reflected on the boulders? And then all this kind of grass that's here gives it a lot of texture. And it definitely is a seasonal type of painting, so you feel it's fall going into winter.
Well, Boulder Path has a retail value of $375. We're looking for a starting bid of $100. This kind of has a fall feeling to it. It's very warm. It has the brown frame surrounding it. Tell me a little bit more about the colors here.
Well, you have teals and blues and greens, and then they're blended in with the browns so that it really hangs together very nicely, and the colors are repeated in the foreground. So you have your foreground, you have your middle ground, which has more distinct trees, and then the background has that atmospheric perspective. Richard has been donating to KVIE for 25 years.
It's a lovely piece. Once again, we're standing here with Boulder Path with a retail value of $375. We're looking for a starting bid of $100. And right now, we're going to go ahead and check in with the phone bank.
Hi, I'm standing over here in the phone bank with item number 3F, fan number 4 by the late Lorene Landau. This is truly a masterpiece. It's got a retail of $1,200. We're up to $850. I have 2 people on the phone. If somebody could just bump that to $1,200 and let us get our retail price for it, that would be great. It's been beautifully framed. It's ready to go home to your house, and it is the last one of these large watercolors available from Lorene's estate. So one more chance, call now. Let's go back out and see what else the girls have.
We're still standing here with Boulder Path, which has a retail value of $375. Maria, what else can you tell me about this piece?
Well, he's been exhibiting professionally for 30 years, and he loves doing landscapes and watercolors, although sometimes he adds some mixed media, but I really don't see very much. There is a little bit of India ink that's been incorporated in the foreground.
It's a great detail.
Yeah, the little dots.
There's little dots, if you see here on the bottom, and they kind of draw your eye right to them.
Right, as if they were splattered. I mean, it's really nice. It's almost like the seeds on the grass. So it's not uncommon to incorporate other medias with watercolor.
And there's just a hint of some pink up here in the trees.
Right.
You almost see a little bit of color coming through, as if maybe the sun is coming up in the morning.
And what's nice about the double matting is that this color is very similar to the colors that are used in the painting, so it's been a good choice. It frames it, and then you have the white matte, which gives it some space.
It's a beautiful piece. It would look lovely in anybody's home. This is a great piece for your living room. If you would like to have this piece in your home, you just got to give us a call. We're at 1-844-584-3278. Again, this has a retail value of $375, and we're looking for a starting bid of $100. It's a great size, isn't it, Maria? This is something that could go really anywhere in your house.
It is. It's very intimate. And I'd like to once again point out the difficulty in watercolor, because all these white areas is the paper.
And so the artist is intentionally not painting there.
That's right.
How difficult is that?
Very difficult. You have to pre-plan. And that is where the skill comes in.
It's really a stunning piece. Please call in now if you're interested in having it in your home. Let's go ahead and check in with the phone bank.
Okay, there it is.
Good
I have nothing
evening.
else
My name is Sharon Gerber. I've been a longtime volunteer and former board member of KVIE, and I'm here with Clayton, and we're so excited to be manning the phone booth.
Indeed. In fact, we were on the board together back in, was it the last century?
Yeah, no. Let's not date ourselves.
It was a few years ago. But friends, we are here tonight at the 37th annual KVIE Art Auction. We need you to go to the phones and dial 844-KVIE Art, KVIE ART, and then you will be all set to join the bidding action here at this exciting auction. We're currently in set number 4, and we have some beautiful pieces ahead.
Lots of great watercolors. I'm a watercolor artist, so I've seen all these in person, and I can attest that they are gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. A lot of talent is in this show. A lot of talent is in this half hour.
Right on. So back to the auction.
Thank you. We're standing here with item 4B, which is Veil Aspens by Phyllis Belbin. This is a watercolor measuring 18 by 20. It is artist framed with a retail value of $400. So Veil Aspens, tell me about where she got inspiration to paint about Vail.
Well, her daughter lives in Vail, Colorado, and she visits her frequently and really loves the aspens, especially in the fall. So this is very typical of her loose watercolor style and her love of trees and landscape.
It's a gorgeous colors that you have. It's almost, to me, I see three primary colors that come out with the yellows and the blues and the greens. Tell me about the colors that you chose here.
Well, what's interesting, of course, when aspens turn in the fall, they're yellow. And they have almost a birch tree trunk. And then you know it's not winter because you still have some green foliage at the bottom. And it looks like it's a sunrise or a sunset with the sun over here, and then just a hint with the blues that there might be mountains and other trees.
It's almost like the sun is peeking through here. And this is another one that's a great size that would look lovely in anybody's home. Right now we have a high bid of $100, so we have somebody who's called in with a bid of $100. Let's see that number get up to $200. There is a retail value of $400 on this piece. It's called Veil Aspens. The number to call if you're interested is 1-844-584-3278. What else can you tell me about this piece?
I noticed that there's India ink that's been added as accent. You can see these little delicate twigs that has been added with India ink, so it has a little bit of mixed media with the watercolor.
It's really a beautiful piece. Let's go over to the phone bank.
Okay, we're back, and we have Boulder Path. This is 4A with a retail value of $375. High bid right now is $100, and this is a watercolor. It's a transparent watercolor. The thing about watercolors, you have to be so patient when you are painting. You have to plan your work out in advance. When you put a stroke down, you can't cover it back up again. So this is beautifully presented. It's framed, and any hikers out there, you can see the pathway going through the Tahoe Mountains. This is going to be a perfect piece to put in your office, to put in your library. We need 150. Okay, we got a 150 coming up. I hope so. Give us a call, 1-844-584-3278. That's the phone number. And we're going to send it right back to our art experts.
Thank you so much. We're still standing here with Veil Aspens, which has a retail value of $400, and right now we have a high bid of $125. Tell me a little bit about the paper that this was painted on.
This is painted on 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. There's different kinds of watercolor paper. Now with watercolor, you need a rough surface because the watercolor pigment has to be in the little dips and mountains and ridges of the paper itself in order to sparkle. So that's what the cold press watercolor paper does. It allows some texture in the paper to capture the watercolor.
Once again, we have a high bid right now of $125. This piece has a retail value of $400. It would look lovely maybe in a studio or your home office or your living room. It has a very warm feeling to it. It kind of evokes fall.
It does, and in a very beautiful way, because who doesn't like the fall foliage?
Well, we're going to keep this one open. Please keep calling in if you're interested, and we're going to move on to our next piece. Our next piece is 4C, which is called Shades of the Day by Sandy Ridley. This is watercolor measuring 26 by 32. It's framed by Archival Gallery. The retail value is $450. And exciting news, this is a juror award for contemporary classics. So, Maria, can you tell me a little bit about the technique that was used for this?
This is called wet in wet watercolor, and it's accomplished by wetting the paper and then flowing the watercolor into the paper so it spreads, and it almost has a life of its own.
It does.
You can see that right here where colors merge with each other, and you create that by tilting the paper.
Interesting. It's really beautiful, bold colors too.
Very.
I love the blues and the yellows. What about the color palette that this artist chose?
Well, it's a very strong, bold statement with the very deep blues and the bright yellows with a bit of green. And then India ink has been added, and also the paper has been tilted so that the India ink flows and creates the shapes of the trees.
So once again, we're here with Shades of the Day. It has a retail value of $450. Right now we have a high bid of $100. And this is a good size piece. I mean, you can see that we're standing next to it. It's a lovely size piece. It could easily anchor above a fireplace or a couch in the living room. And it has such bold colors. I think it would really draw the eye to this piece. Would you agree?
Yes, and what's interesting, if you look further, you can see these little thistles right here that are in the foreground that are coming up, that have a bit of India ink, and it creates a delicacy, as well as this reflection in the water over here, and then this is very powerful.
It is a very powerful piece. I'm glad you used that word. It also has a strong natural feeling, even though it's not maybe
not realistic.
Realistic, yeah, but it does really evoke nature to me.
Yes.
So this would be maybe something for the nature lover in your family, maybe a gift or something for yourself. Again, it's Shades of the Day, and we're gonna check in with the phone bank.
Friends, we have a very exciting situation here with Vale Aspens, item number 4B. We have four callers on the phone.
Oh my gosh.
Friends, that is an auction. That is a verb. But you know what? We've got room for 5 or 6 or even more. On any of our pieces during this set, please go to the phones now, 1-844-KVIE Art, and get involved.
Yes, we're looking for some bell ringers, of course.
Absolutely.
And we're looking for a lot more bidders. We've got a lot more art coming up, but we have Boulder Path, we have Vale Aspens, still waiting for more callers.
We're going to send it back to Christina.
Thank you. You can see these pieces go so quick. We've got a couple of minutes and multiple people calling. So if this is a piece that you want to have in your home, and you should because it's beautiful, give us a call right now. Once again, the retail value is $450 and the high bid right now is $150. What else can you tell me about this piece, Maria?
This again is cold pressed watercolor paper, but heavier. It's 300 pound, which is as heavy as you can purchase it. And again, it has a texture so that when you do wet and wet watercolor, it goes into the little nooks and crannies. This is, she attempted to show mist on the horizon. This is really wetlands. An area that's very endangered right now.
It is, yeah, and you can feel that too. And what about this frame? It's a gorgeous frame, and it kind of really accentuates the colors.
Yes, it's very important to have a mat around watercolor because the mat creates distance between the frame and the painting, and it gives it sort of a space so that you don't feel the painting is crowded.
It doesn't feel crowded at all. It feels, it just really stands out. Bright news, this piece is already up to $275. We have a $275 bid, and we're gonna keep it open. So if you're interested in this piece, please give us a call at 1-844-584-3278. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our next piece, which is 4D. This is Good Morning Glory by Jan Rowe. This is a watercolor measuring 28 by 35. The retail value is $600. Maria, I love this piece. I think I love the colors about it. I love the size about it. Everything about this piece is just lovely. What can you tell me about it?
Well, I know that the artist initially wanted to make an abstract because she normally does realistic pieces. But in doing so, it had what she calls a happy accident, and it turned into really a very beautiful floral piece. And this is very interesting here, what looks like netting, which could be cheesecloth that was dipped in paint and pressed on the painting to create this very delicate lacy effect. And then the flowers have a lot of volume because the blending is so smooth that you really feel like you could feel the depth of the morning glory and also the volume of the petals.
This is a great size piece. It's very large. It could easily anchor your living room or a larger room in your house if you have a large wall. This would look beautiful on it. It has a retail value of $600, and we're looking for a starting bid of $200. And the colors in this are so vibrant that it would just draw your eye to this piece the minute you walk into a room. And you even have this bright matte that kind of accentuates it.
Yeah, it's bright, and then you have this nice little texture on the frame, which kind of picks up the lacy areas in the painting. Would you believe that this artist normally paints old barns and rusty farm equipment?
It's hard to believe because this looks so soft and natural, as if this is something this artist does all the time. And it does have this kind of a soft feel to it. It's kind of a flowy, soft, peaceful feeling.
Very. It's very relaxing. It also has some nice line quality. She sometimes incorporates other media like India ink into the watercolor, and so you have what looks like perhaps a string or yarn that's been dipped in watercolor and then pressed on the watercolor paper.
The flowers to me look very realistic, which I really like. I really enjoy looking at the flowers.
They have a lot of depth to them, and then you have the depth here and the more flat background, which is a nice contrast.
Would you describe this as a realistic painting, or is it kind of a mixture of...
I think it's more impressionistic. It's very loose, it's very experimental, it's very spontaneous.
It absolutely is. Once again, we're standing here with Good Morning Glory. It has a retail value of $600, and we're looking for a starting bid of $200. Let's go ahead and check in with the phone bank.
It is the 37th annual KVIE Art Auction, and you are watching it live from the comfort of your living room. We have a group of staff and volunteers here, and we're all here to serve you tonight. So go to your phones and get involved in the auction.
Absolutely. You do not want to wake up tomorrow morning and think, oh, darn it, I should have bid on that piece. Now is the time to bid. Each piece is only available for a short period of time, so get on that phone, dial the number, and let's get some bidding action going. We got to raise some money for KVIE.
Back to the auction.
Thank you so much. Well, good news, we've already got a high bid of $200 on this piece. Let's see that go to $300. It has a retail value of $600. So right now we're at $200. Let's see that number go up. Maria, tell me a little bit about where this painting was done.
This painting was done in her studio. The artist says that she doesn't like painting outdoors, which we call plein air painting. And it makes sense because you have a more controlled environment in the studio, and you can experiment and add mixed media, which is very difficult to do outdoors.
We have a bell ringer. We have a bell ringer on 4C, which is Shades of the Day. It's actually a high bid of $475. That's so exciting. Let's make this one a bell ringer too. We're still at Good Morning Glory. Right now we have a high bid of $200, and we're going to keep this piece open. We're going to move on to the next one. Our next piece is 4E, which is Glowing Foliage by Megan Bucko. This is a watercolor measuring 16 by 20. It's framed by Archival Gallery, and the retail value is $450. So tell me a little bit about this subject matter, Maria.
Well, the artist loves fall.
We have so many bells going on, we don't know where to look. That's great, though.
And her favorite colors are turquoise and purple. And she describes this piece as using some found objects as well as the watercolor. And I can see what looks like the silhouette of real leaves, like the ginkgo leaves here. And she may have laid down a fern and painted over it so that you get all the really delicate detail of the ferns. So it's a nice combination from her imagination where she uses real shapes and imaginary shapes.
We're standing here with Glowing Foliage, which has a retail value of $450. We're looking for that starting bid. That starting bid of $100 is what we're looking for. The number to call if you're interested in it is 1-844-584-3278. And I just love this feeling of fall, and we're in fall now, it's October. This would be a fantastic piece. What else can you tell me about it?
You notice there's a little texture here? She layers rice paper over the watercolor and then paints over the rice paper. So it's a layered watercolor.
We're gonna take a second and go ahead and check in with Dee.
I'm over here in 4C. Ridley's Shades of the Day. It's got a retail of $450. We're at $475, and we are still bidding, even though it's a bell ringer. You can only get this piece if you call 1-844-584-3278. You got to bid fast and bid now, and let's go back out and look at that next piece.
You can see how quickly these pieces are going. So if you're interested in having these pieces in your home, you've got to give us a call as soon as you see that piece that you know that you want in your home, or perhaps you want to give as a gift. We're still here with glowing foliage, and we're looking for a starting bid of $100. What else can you tell me about the colors in this piece, perhaps?
Well, it's called glowing because there's a lot of gold and purple.
There is sparks of it.
Yes, right here is gold paint. So it really looks like it's popping out of a very deep purple background or violet.
And this lovely gold frame certainly
perfect.
Complements it. Yeah, you could not choose a more perfect frame for this piece.
It's perfect. This almost refers to the shapes of the leaves and the fern.
It does, yes. This would be it's a good size piece, and it's a lovely color, and it would look lovely in any home. Once again, it's glowing foliage. We're looking for a starting bid of $100. What else can you tell me?
Do you notice the mat has an inner liner of blue? This is a mat that has a color core. So when you cut it, a color appears, and here you have a very thin blue that enhances the painting.
What do you think was the artist's inspiration for this piece?
Well, it's an imaginary piece, and it stems from her love of fall.
We all love fall. It's October. It's the perfect time, and it's the perfect time for you to call and bid on this piece right now. The number to call is 1-844-584-3278. We're looking for a starting bid of $100 on this beautiful piece. And anything else that you can tell me?
Do you see the little specks?
There's little specks throughout the entire piece, which is really, they're gold and silver. Yeah, they're definitely.
So you can keep finding things in the painting as you look at it, and you have these very little tiny delicate, it's actually silver and gold leaf.
Oh, wow. It is one of those pieces that you look at and you keep seeing new things to keep your eye interested, really. Let's go ahead and keep this piece open, and we're going to move on to our next piece. Our next piece is item 4F, Horses and Stars by Ruth Morrow. This is a watercolor measuring 30 by 24. The retail value is $550. So item 4F, this is a lovely piece. This is a good size piece. It's really a nice large painting. It's got very bold colors to it. What can you tell me about it?
Well, it is very bold, and the artist likes horses and observes them as she drives through the mother lode. Now, what's really unusual about this watercolor is the paper it's painted on. It's painted on something called Yupo paper, which is a glossy, non-absorbent paper. So it's a real challenge to paint on it because you can't paint too many times. It sits on the surface of the watercolor, and you can see every stroke. So every time you lay some paint down, like here, you see the immediacy of the brush stroke.
This is Horses and Stars. It has a retail value of $550. We're looking for a starting bid of just $100. Tell me a little bit, I love the details of the stars that you see surrounding these horses. What was her thought behind that?
It almost looks like it's a night sky with the stars, and yet there's a lot of movement in the painting.
There is.
The colors are moving around. Your eye rotates around the painting. The horse's hair looks like it's being windswept. And you have very strong contrast between the very dark blue and the lighter background, and the purple and the blue, which are harmonious colors. They're called analogous colors. So it's really a very active painting.
It is a very active painting. It's a very strong painting. It's something, if this is a painting that you had in your home, it would be a conversation starter because it draws your eye immediately to it. And you can see the size of it as well. It's a very large painting. It would look great on any large wall, perhaps in your living room or maybe a study. What else can you tell me about this
frame?
piece? Oh, the frame, sure.
Well, the frame is really nice and wide. Because this is such a strong piece and has so much movement going on, you need a very large, stable frame for it, which this black frame is very effective in that way.
It certainly keeps this piece. It gives it a very strong feeling to it. I think that's a good word that we keep using, but it's very accurate. I like the way the horses kind of look as though they're watching you. They have a great expression in their face.
And you know, it's a very spontaneous painting. You know that she just painted it and didn't overwork it or try to cover up areas, that she left the paint doing its own thing on the paper.
Once again, this is Horses and Stars, looking for a starting bid of $100. We'll keep this one open, but let's check in with the phone bank.
Sharon is holding item 4E, Glowing Foliage by Megan Bucko. Stunning piece that would look beautiful in your home. Right now, we are up to $300. We're looking for a bid of $350. And I hear one right next to me is bidding right now, so it might even be $400. So go to the phone and give us a call, 1-844-KVIE Art. Back to the auction.
Thank you. We're still standing here with Horses and Stars with a retail value of $550. We're looking for that starting bid of $100. Oh, great. We actually just got a bid in for $125. That's fantastic. So if you're sitting at home thinking you might want this piece, now is the time to call. Tell me a little bit more about the colors that this artist chose to work with.
Well, sometimes she incorporates India ink, and I can see maybe some suggestion of the dark India ink in the horse that's in the foreground. So you can really see that this is in front, and then this one's behind, and this is further back because of the scale is diminishing.
There's good perspective. You can definitely feel the perspective of these different horses.
Right, and it's painted. It's a very energetic painting. That's another word I would use.
It might also be good in a child's bedroom. It's kind of got a little whimsical feel to it.
Well, you know, little girls love horses.
Little girls do love horses, and there's also a lot of horse lovers out there, I'm sure, that would love to have this painting in your home. Right now, we have a high bid of $200. Let's see if we can get that number up to $300. And we're going to go ahead and check in with the phone bank.
Stay tuned, because there's more art coming up in the next half hour in the KVIE Art Auction.
Bring your brushes, bring your palettes, gonna paint that sunset tonight.
Welcome to the 37th annual KVIE Art Auction. Join us all weekend for a celebration of Northern California's visual arts. Over 260 pieces will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite pieces. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/art auction. Then, when your favorite item appears, call 1-844-KVIE-ART to place your bid. Auction proceeds benefit the programs and services of your local PBS station, KVIE. So thank you for watching and bidding. And now, let the auction begin.
Show us the way how to create. Down the rivers and through the valley from the...
Picking up your purchased art is quick and easy to do. Visit KVIE Studios Saturday through Tuesday during these posted hours to claim your art. All purchased art must be claimed within 30 days of auction closure. For questions, location, and hours, visit kvie.org/art auction. Thank you for being part of the KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned. For the Birds is coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. This category features our feathered friends in both two-dimensional and three-dimensional media. View all of the art featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction.
And we're back. Hello, I'm David Lowe, and we're in the final hour of tonight's art auction, and then we'll be back tomorrow at noon for day 2. But right now, you will have the opportunity to bid on and buy original works of art in our next exciting collection, For the Birds. And this portion of the KVIE Art Auction is sponsored by Crow & Decker, and we'd love to thank them for their commitment to supporting the arts right here on KVIE. And now, here's an overview of the art that will be up for bid during the next
half hour. Item number 5A is Totem 2 by Don Yost. It's clay, and it measures approximately 5 by 5 by about a foot tall. Retail value of $350. Item number 5B is Curious by Cami Malecki, and it's an acrylic on canvas measuring 24 by 18, a retail value of $1,200. Item number 5C is Cranes in Flight by Doug Ridgway. It's a photograph, and it measures 20 by 30, a retail value of $450. Item 5D is Taking Flight by Kathy Donna. It's an oil on canvas measuring 24 by 18, retail value of $400. Item number 5E is In the Pink by Sue Grau. It's a photograph measuring 16 by 24, and it has a frame by Archival Gallery. Retail value on this piece of $500. And the final item in the collection for this half hour is item number 5F, Shallow Waters by Carolyn Moyer. It's a ceramic, and it measures 16 by 12 by 14. Retail value of $400. If you see anything that you like right now, call. Start that bidding process. It's that easy. So during this break, we are pleased to be joined by Kelly Rains. She's a regular contributor to the art auction, a longtime KVIE employee as well, and she recently enjoyed a successful two-person show with Archival Gallery in Sacramento. Welcome back to the auction, Kelly.
Thank you, David.
All right, well, let's just get started right here. We've got item number 5A. It's Totem 2 by Don Yost. And it's really, I think it's just an incredible piece, but you can tell us more about it.
It's really fun. I'm going to start off with the artist. When I talked to Don about his inspiration, he said one of his first pieces of inspiration was the nightly news. So you can take from that what you will. All of his work is done in his studio, so he can stay out of the house and not get underfoot. What he loves to do is he loves to give characters to his birds. He loves cartoons, but he says he can't draw cartoons, so his birds are his cartoons. And it might look like it's a totem of 4 birds, but there's actually 5 birds. If you look on the very bottom.
Oh, hidden in there.
There's one little guy
getting ready to peek out
at the very bottom of the totem. And then, of course, they're all clambering up, and each one of them has a very distinct personality.
That's a great thing about art. You see something new all the time, and thanks for pointing that out, because I never would have seen it. We have a bid right now of $75, retail value of $350. We're going to show you the back of it, too, so you can see it's very three-dimensional. Mary Ellen, our art handler there, taking very good care of this because she wants you to have it, and she wants you to have it in great shape. And all you have to do is call in and make that bid, 844 KVIE Art, and tell them you want to make a bid on item number 5A.
So if you couldn't tell just by looking at his work that Don has a great sense of humor, and when I asked him about the piece, one of the things he called it totem, and he said if you didn't know what that means, he said you could just look it up. Which, again, I think that speaks to his fun, his humor. You can see it in the birds. He enjoys seeing what expressions the birds end up with. He knows what he wants them to kind of look like, but sometimes they come up with their own expressions. He has some control, but most of the birds are pleasant surprises.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of that game, the Angry Birds. So maybe if you've ever played that game, this is something, or maybe you had a kid who loved that game, you can have this forever in your home, maybe even in your office. If it's political, well, maybe keep it out of the office.
Well, it's a really fun piece. You could have it anywhere. He says he likes to make things that he would love to have in his own house. So all of his birds, there are things that he appreciates and he loves to have. Again,
yeah, and you can see right there, yep, we're showing it.
Little guy is my favorite down at the bottom, but then they just grow on you one by one. Who doesn't want to be the top bird?
Now, we've got a high bid right now of $100. This is starting to move, and we are going to check in at the phone bank.
That little Don Yost piece, that totem is so nice. He's one of our past awards winners. Right now we have a bid of $125. It's got a retail of $350. We have a viewing party going on at the Club Toomey. Get on the phone, people. Call 1-844-584-3278 and take home these sweet little birds. You can pick them up tomorrow between 12 and 5. Let's take another look at Don Yost birds with Kelly.
David, I just wanted to point out, Don said he's been making birds for almost 50 years. And his first was a reaction to a statement by Bruce Swinehart at ARC, who said there was no such thing as a seagull. So Don made a seagull, and he's been making birds ever since.
And almost 50 years, so 10 years for every bird, because as we know, there are
5 birds in this piece. We have a bid right now of $225. A lot of action on this right now. We're only going to have a few more seconds on air before we move to our next piece, but that doesn't mean that the bidding stops. Remember, this is a last person standing. So if you are the last person on the phone and you've knocked everyone else off, it's going to be your piece, but you can't get in on it if you don't make that call. 1-844-KVIE Art. And we're going to keep it open, but we're going to move on to our next piece now. This is item number 5B. It's called Curious, and it's acrylic on canvas measuring 24 by 18, and it's good that it has that size because there's a very long neck in there that we need to make sure is seen. Retail value of $1,200. There is a bid right now of $350, well below the current value, and I think we're going to hear the phones ring right now. Kelly, tell us a little bit more about the piece.
Well, I will tell you, I love this piece just because of the composition, the different angle that it's at. When I talked to Cammie, he said he gets inspiration for his respect for life and searching for answers. He got his inspiration for this specific bird. He took it of an ostrich while he was on safari, and he loved the way the bird was looking at him, quote, furious, interested, and curious.
It's a very curious bird. I love all of the white in it as well because it just really focuses your eye right on its eyes and its beak and its very long neck.
It's really fun. He said the bird seemed like a child looking at the world for the first time with such interest and curiosity, and there's that curiosity element going on again.
I love those big eyes and the big eyelashes as well, and I know some other people do too because we have a current bid of $400 on its way up to the value of $1,200, and I know that's going to happen because we have a lot of interest right now on this piece. And if you are not already bidding, there's still time. All you've got to do is pick up the phone and get in on the action.
A little bit more about the artist, if you're curious, much like this bird is curious. While he works in acrylics, he likes to work in several other mediums, including pencils, oils, and charcoal, and different genres outside of animals to portraits and landscapes. He sees all the mediums as different universes full of marvels.
It's really going to be, I think, a conversation starter. If you have this in your home, you have it in your office, people are going to say, tell me a little bit more about that piece, and you can tell them all the things that Kelly's been telling you.
And what's really fun about this piece too, fun and just really beautiful, is not just the ostrich itself, but the negative space around it and the composition that the artist used. It's got a lot of movement and energy, and it keeps drawing you in.
I have great news. We have a bell ringer on item number 5A, Totem 2. We're checking in right now with Sharon Gerber at the phone bank.
Okay, did you hear that bell ringer? That was Totem 2. So excellent. What a great way to start this next section. My name is Sharon Gerber. I'm a longtime volunteer, former board member, contributing artist. Thrilled to be here tonight. Thrilled that all of you are with me from your living room or your couches. So we're going to be calling 1-844-584-3278. It's your turn to bid. Here we're going back to Dave and Kelly.
There you go. You peered over there. I know Sharon's about like 40 feet over there. Hi, Sharon. And we've got a current bid right now of $450 on Curious. You can jump in on the action right now. Don't kick yourself in the morning saying, I should have called.
Ostriches kick, so don't be like an ostrich.
Or don't get kicked by an ostrich.
Exactly.
Own an ostrich.
A little bit more about Cammie. He has won a Curator Award in a past art auction, 2017, and he's been exhibiting art professionally for more than 30 years.
It's really a fantastic piece. People are seeing that as well. We're taking, it looks like, smaller bid increments because it's only going up in about maybe 25. So $475, it looks like, is the current high bid. That's probably going to get updated on your screen right now. You can jump in right now and make a bid by calling KVIE, 844-KVIE Art. And we're going to keep it going. Well, I'm sorry. Someone told me I think we could have this in a home or an office.
We could have it anywhere that you want to be curious or look at this great bird and have some just beautiful fun in your environment.
Well, you know, I've got one more question for you. Isn't this an amazing piece that everyone should be calling in on right now?
Absolutely. I love birds. I'm a little partial to birds, but again, this is really fun. It's an ostrich. You don't see those every day, and it's just a really incredible. And also, if you like the artist, you're fond of protecting and enjoying wildlife, this is the piece for you to do that.
It's really a great piece. And again, you know, we're going to keep it open, but we are going to move on. So if you're an active bidder, go ahead and keep bidding, but it's going to be on. We're moving over to the next piece right now. This is item number 5C. It's Cranes in Flight by Doug Ridgway. It's a photograph and measures 20 by 30. Value of $450. You can call in right now and make the opening bid. Kelly, tell us a little bit more about this piece.
Well, I'm very fond of bird art, and this one is absolutely beautiful. The artist has a special love of photographing sandhill cranes, and he strives to produce stunning yet simple nature photographs, which you can see in this. And he said that when he got home and looked at the photograph, he knew he really wouldn't have to do too much to it other than putting it into a high-key filter. And a high-key filter, David, you may wonder what that means.
I was wondering that. I was just about to ask. What is a high-key filter?
Good thing. Basically, high-key filters help create mood by using and showing minimal shadows, and it features a lot of whites and light tones. So you can see that at play with all of the white negative space around the birds, and even the birds within themselves. All the light tones are very light, and the shadows are such a great contrast.
There's really a lot of depth in this. Seeing it up close, I think if you are the winning bidder on this piece, you are going to fall in love with it even more. I know obviously you fell in love with it because you're calling to bid, but when you pick it up, you are going to be amazed.
It's so beautiful, and what's really great about this piece is it can transport you to somewhere else, much like where he took it. This piece was photographed at the Bosque del Apache National Wildlife Reserve in New Mexico. The artist is drawn to simple but expressive, natural-looking photographs, and he was out early in the morning to capture this photograph.
Well, and capture something he did. This is really amazing, and it was something that the artist wanted KVIE to have to be able to propel our mission of great programming for you. So he did his part, and now you can do your part when you call 844 KVIE Art and make that bid. We are going to check in right now with Sharon at the phone bank.
Hi, I am so excited about this piece. This is number 5B, Curious. It's got a retail of $1,200. I have 4 bidders on the phone right now, and it's up to $525. Half of the art movers have taken selfies with this piece today. It's so popular. But you can only get it if you call 1-844-584-3278. We will close it out in less than 5 minutes, and you don't want to see it go home with somebody else. So we're going to go back out, and we're going to see Kelly and David and look at those absolutely gorgeous cranes.
And of course, that was Dee. That was not Sharon, but I think you kind of picked that up at home. Natural wildlife photography, this is something that you want in your home.
It's really, really beautiful. When I talked to the artist, I asked him if he did anything other than using the filters. He develops all of his own images in software like Lightroom, Photoshop, and using other plugins. And this piece was printed on metallic paper, and it's mounted on a wood base and coated with a satin finish. And it's got this very luxe but minimal look to it, which is really striking and would be beautiful on any wall in any home or office.
Just about a minute on this piece before we go to the next one. I really would love to see the original photo to see what he had to do to make it as striking as this is.
Very little, I think. I think it's the high key filters and just being in the right spot at the right time. He also said there's a certain primeval aspect to birds that he loves, and you can kind of see that in the photo, and you can see the relationship of the birds too, which is such a great thing to capture in a photograph.
It's fantastic. We do have a bid right now of $100. Plenty of room though for you to jump in and make this a bidding war. It's well below the value right now of $450. We're going to move on to another piece in just a few seconds here. Actually, we're going to do it right now. So it's still open, but you need to make that call right now. Now we are on item number 5D. This is called Taking Flight by Kathy Donna. It's an oil on canvas. It measures 24 by 18. A value of $400. We already have a bid of $250. Kelly, tell us a little bit more about the piece and the artist.
Well, when I talked to Kathy about this, I asked her if there was a specific reason she chose the color palette that she did, which I really love, this color palette. And she said that she chose the blues to represent the wisdom and beauty of the owl. She chose also for emphasizing nighttime activity. She added purple to the owl, and you can see the purple on the owl to show his spirit, and she added gold to depict alertness and urgency.
And of course, it's not the only owl that you've seen. We have shown Kenny, our owl, who is our bell-ringing owl. Maybe this owl can join Kenny as a bell ringer.
Hey, that would be a lot of fun.
I think it could happen. A bid right now of $250. Now this piece is not framed, it's gallery wrapped, so of course that means the painting goes around the edges here, and it's going to look great when it is mounted on your wall.
Yes, and it is oil on canvas. And Kathy chose owls because she just finds them fascinating birds of prey. They also symbolize wisdom. She painted it in her studio. And to me, it reminds me kind of like of a Harry Potter, Hogwarts kind of feel to it. And it's
definitely
really
has that
fun
magical kind of colors, yes. And
it's absolutely magical, and you can see with the way she's done the paint, the gold, there's movement in the wings. You can see you can almost hear the wings fluttering to take off towards wherever it's going.
well, it's a fantastic piece. We're going to tell you a little bit more about it, but first we're checking in with Sharon.
So the bids are coming in, the excitement is mounting. It's exciting here, and I can't thank all of you enough to join us this evening to help support the arts for KVIE. But we have a lot of art still waiting for you to pick up the phone and bid on it and enjoy that art for decades to come. We have Curious, we have Cranes in Flight, and we have a phone number, 1-844-584-3278. Give us a call. Back to Dave.
Item number 5E is the one you want to call in on right now. Has a bid right now of $250. If you make a bid, you will be in the lead.
Will be in the lead. A little bit more about Kathy, the artist. She's been exhibiting professionally for 2 years and has also been a participating artist in the KVIE Art Auction in the past. And this is taking flight.
We love those returning artists. It's great for them because they get to have a little bit of publicity, and people tend to seek them out and say, what else have you done? And they look them up online, and sometimes they make those purchases directly from the artist, which is great. We want to encourage people to connect with the local artists here in our region.
I want to point out that it's just looking straight at you. It's coming for you, and it's also kind of inviting you to go along the journey with him because he's just ready to take flight. And again, the colors and her brushstrokes and everything give a lot of movement to the piece, which is really, really fun.
Well, he could be coming into your home. We did see the bids move here. So if you were that $250 bid, don't let this slip away. Don't kick yourself because you didn't move up another increment. It's still waiting for you to take flight to your home.
Very nice.
Oh, let's see how I did that there.
The artist also, she specializes in portraits, people, and animals. And I think there's a little bit of both going on here. It's a beautiful portrait of an owl that sometimes has like human-like qualities.
That's fantastic. We're going to keep this open, but we're now going to check in with Dee.
I am here with Cranes in Flight, item number 5C. It's got a retail of $450. We're up to $300. This is a beautiful piece of contemporary photography. It's been mounted on a maple board, so it's got a really nice kind of crisp flair to it. You could be picking it up tomorrow between 12 and 5. We're at $300. I really want to make it to $450. 1-844-584-3278. We're nearing the end of the evening, and these sell out in 5 minutes or less, folks. So if you're interested in a piece, get on the phone now and give us a call. 1-844-584-3278. Let's go back out and look at that hummingbird.
When Dee tells you to do something, you got to do it. All right, this is item 5E. It's in the pink, and this is by the artist Sue Grau, and it's a photograph, measures 16 by 24, and also, when we come live, you'll see it is framed by Archival Gallery, as you can see there. Kelly, tell us a little bit more about this.
I am in love with this photograph. One, because I love hummingbirds, but it's just so up close and personal. And when I talked to the artist, she thinks this is a black-chinned hummingbird. And the flower, and I hope I don't say this wrong for all the master gardeners out there, is an alstroemeria. And the background, this pink background that the bird and the flower is in front of is actually a bed of pink petunias. But because the foreground is so close, you can't make those out. The shallow depth of field creates the blurred pink background.
It's really a colorful, fantastic piece, and who doesn't love hummingbirds? They're so cute.
Who doesn't love hummingbirds? She said her lure into photographing wildlife started with migrating waterfowl. And she visits a federal wildlife refuge regularly for information. And this bird was actually, she took this picture in a friend's garden.
That's fantastic. You can call in right now and have the opening bid on this piece, a value of $500. You can see that we just got a bid for $100. You can make the next bid right now and have a chance to have this in your home where it's going to look amazing with just that pink, and try to envision right now in your home where you're going to put that.
There's something magical about hummingbirds and pink and the flowers. She said she chose this image, she took a lot of images that day, but she chose it primarily for the pink background because it felt good to her eyes and she thought it would feel good to other people's eyes. And also the title, In the Pink, is really about the background just because it's so soothing and welcoming and comforting.
And of course, we've all seen the nature documentaries on hummingbirds on KVIE, and we know how hard they are to photograph because those wings are flapping very quickly. And to get this still and know that this artist took that picture, really amazing.
She said it was a lot of fun waiting for it. The birds were actively flying around for a long time, and it was a matter of waiting for one to be in the right spot and the right light. And she chose the optimal spot, and she waited for this picture.
Well, call in right now because we're going to make this on its way to a bell ringer. But speaking of bell ringers, we've got a couple of them to tell you about in the phone bank.
Okay, now everybody in my position wants to do this. That means we have bell ringers. What a bell ringer means is that a painting or an art has gone for the asking price or higher, the retail price or higher. So I'm delighted to say that Cranes in Flight and Taking Flight, that's 5C and 5D, are both bell ringers. So yay, yay. Thank you. Every dollar that you bid, it goes to support KVIE so we can continue to do the entertainment and education programs that you love and depend on. And we depend on you and your support. So thank you so much. Now we're going to go back over to David and Kelly.
We close these pieces very quickly, and we're going to be moving on from this one shortly, too. But can you tell us maybe one more thing about In the Pink?
What I love about this, she said, quote unquote, the experience of looking eye to eye with a wild creature is humbling. And I think you can see that in this piece.
Well, and you're seeing the bids move, so this is great. Other people, I think, are seeing what we see here in the studio, and they've envisioned where they want it, and they are making that call right now. And if you're one of them and you're thinking about it, there's still a little bit of time, because as we go on to the next piece, there's still time for you to jump in. As long as other people are bidding, there's a chance that you can do that as well. We're now going to move on to the final piece in this half-hour lot. And it's called Shallow Waters. It's ceramic, measures 16 by 12 by 14 by the artist Carolyn Moyer. And Kelly, go ahead and tell us a little bit about this piece, which, by the way, is already a bell ringer.
That's fantastic. That's great news. Well, a little bit about this piece. One of my favorite things about this piece, the artist told me that there's melted glass in the water, and the melted glass actually throughout the water are marbles that she found at a dollar store. So I just love the incorporation of marbles in here melted into the piece.
Well, we have a $500 bid right now, which is fantastic because, as you can see, the value is $400. It means it's a bell ringer. And you just heard that right there. It's a Kenny the Owl bell ringer. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Outside of the unique use of marbles in here, there's also a unique perspective of this piece. It's above water and below water at the same time, which is a really fun thing to do. So you can see two different worlds at the same time while you're looking at this piece.
Well, that's really fantastic. And you can see, of course, yeah, the bird is kind of peering down in there seeing that, which is kind of interesting that the bird is smaller than the fish, but again, different worlds. And
there's also maybe a lot of hope about how big that fish is, that bird is.
No, it's really fantastic, and clearly someone knows what they're getting by bidding. And as a matter of fact, the bid just went up again at $550. So this continues to be one of those amazing bell ringers.
When she got inspired by this piece, she said she was out with her dog for a walk, and it was a tranquil setting on a hot afternoon, and it seemed there was an illusion of water without water. So that was the inspiration for this piece. You could feel the warm sun at the top.
It's definitely going to be a conversation starter. No matter where you put it in your home or office, someone is going to say, you've got to tell me more about that.
There's a whole world down here. There's little seashells. There's a little underwater vegetation. And of course, this great fish. It's got a, kind of a really great grin on his face. And of course, this bird is studiously looking at what's below the water for lunch.
I think that bird wants that fish very badly.
The artist,
and maybe you want this piece of art very badly as well. You can do something about it. That bird right now is a sculpture, can't do anything, can't move. But you can actually get up, grab your phone, and make that call.
Absolutely. A little bit about the artist. She has gallery affiliations with Sacramento Fine Arts Center, Blue Line Arts, Elk Grove Fine Arts Center, and Rockland Fine Arts.
Fantastic. Item number 5F is the one that you want to say when you make that call and tell them, I want to make a bid of support that supports KVIE, and we are going to check in right now with Dee in the phone bank.
I am here with item number 5E in the pink. It's got a current bid of $275. In case you haven't recognized this piece appeared on the cover of the Inside Publications for East Sac this last month, and it's still on the newsstands. You can own the original by calling 1-844-584-3278, and you can take it home tomorrow. We're at $300. Let's go back out to Kelly.
Well, yeah, Dee said Kelly. She didn't say David.
Well, you are here with me. One other thing I wanted to point out about this sculpture is that it can go outside, and all of the glazes are lead-free high fire.
Fantastic. We do have that current bid at $550, so all you have to do is call in and you can say, I want to make a bid of support to KVIE, but also a bid to win this piece.
It's a really fun piece, and it's from a local artist. The artist, she said she started out as an art teacher at Sacramento Country Day School and that taught 35 years for San Juan, but she says now that she does art for herself.
Well, and we're glad that she did art for KVIE as well, because she donated this piece and she wanted it to go for the highest value it could to support KVIE. So when you call in and make that bit of support, not only on this piece, but on any piece of art, you are doing your part and you're making that artist very happy as well, because they love to see that there are people enjoying the art of the region.
It's such a fun piece. It was also, I want to point out that it was created at Alpha Fired Arts in Sacramento. And again, she loves nature, animals, and water subjects and likes to incorporate humor into her work.
Fantastic. We're going to check in right now with Sharon. Sharon, what's up?
What an awesome experience this break has been. Almost every single piece of art has been a bell ringer. So thank you, all of you who have bid. There's still opportunities, so pick up the phone, 1-844-584-3278. Give us a call, add to your art collection, add to the coffers at KVIE, make a difference in this community. We really depend on you. We're excited to be here. Stay tuned because there's more art that's coming up in the next half hour. Oh, I'm sorry. We're still going over. Okay.
Yes, we still actually have a few more seconds to talk about this piece, which is fantastic. Kelly, tell us one more thing if you can.
One more thing about the artist, that she works in all kinds of mediums, but right now her favorite medium is clay.
Well, I think you can tell, right?
It's beautiful.
Because look how amazing this is. High bid right now, $550. You can make it happen, though, when you call in and say that you want to make a bid of $600. Anything that goes over the value is actually a tax-deductible donation if you do your write-offs that way. And also a great feeling for knowing that you are supporting KVIE while also becoming a great collector of fine art.
Well, this is the piece to start with, too.
It could be a start. It could be an end cap of a conversation. I mean, of a collection. It's fantastic. All right. Well, hey, stay tuned because there's more art coming up in the next half hour, the half hour of the night, the last one, the KVIE Art Auction.
What's wrong with following the proven method? Isn't that the surest way to produce satisfactory results? Today, simply producing satisfactory results isn't good enough. We live in a rapidly changing landscape. Those changes require new solutions. Innovation challenges the idea that old solutions will continue to solve today's problem.
KVIE is committed to the visual and performing arts through national productions like Great Performances and drama with Poldark and Victoria, to our local production of KVIE Arts Showcase, and the KVIE Gallery, now in its 4th year of celebrating award-winning auction artists and California Masters. Our commitment to the arts stays strong because of your participation as a donor and an art buyer. Thank you for being part of the KVIE Art Auction and for making art a part of your home today.
Stay tuned for the Award Winners Collection, coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. This category features the best of this year's auction, carefully selected by the jurors and curator. View all of the art featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/artauction.
Hello again, I'm David Lowe, and we are back for tonight's final half hour of live auction excitement in the 2018 KVIE Art Auction. And in this half hour, we are featuring award winners. And now here's an overview of the art that will be up for bid during the next half hour.
Item number 6A is Fluffle 6 by Early Swanson. It's acrylic on board, measures 19 by a whopping 53. It's framed by Archival Gallery, has a retail value of $700, and it's the Juror Award for Still Life. Item number 6B is Barnyard Mayhem by Lucille Van Omering, and it's a photograph measuring 29 by 21, and this was framed by Midtown Framing, retail value of $475. It received the Juror Award in photography. Item number 6C is Elderly Buddhist Monk on Teakwood Bridge, Myanmar by David Ruderman. It's a photograph, measures 19 by 25, also framed by Archival Gallery, retail value of $700, and it's a Juror Award winner also in photography. Item number 6D is V by Ray Gonzalez. It's a ceramic mixed media, measures 25 by 25 by 5, retail value of $750, and it received the Juror Award in sculpture. Item number 6E is Talc Bowl by Jack Richardson, and it's stone, measuring 2 by 9 by 2, and it has a retail value of $300. And then the final piece in this half-hour collection is item 6F, Inspector by Paula Wenzel Belisara, and it's a ceramic measuring 8 by 8 by another 8, retail value of $300. Now, during this break, we are pleased to be joined again by Kelly Rains, and it's time to talk about these amazing award winners. Item number 6A, Fluffle 6. Tell us a little bit more about the piece.
I am in love with this piece. The artist, early, she tried to make a rabbit with the feel of a rabbit with attitude, but not a literal rabbit. And I said rabbit in singular, but it is a beautiful piece that he made. And it's called Fluffle 6. Now we get there's 6, but Fluffle, do you know what a Fluffle is, David?
I'm going to guess it's a group of rabbits.
Very good.
Oh, that is like a murder of crows and a
Exactly.
fluffle of rabbits.
And we didn't even plan that. So there's a group of rabbits here. There are 6, Fluffle 6. The artist is exploring repeat images in the paintings and sculptures. This one is one of the results. And the piece continues the interest in nature, but focuses on the spirit of the animals rather than being photorealistic.
Current bid of $350, so you can jump in on the action. One of my favorite things is it's called Fluffle 6. There are, of course, 6 rabbits, and we are channel 6. This is item number 6A. There's a lot there, I think, for KVIE, channel 6. So anyway, call in right now. There's a bid of $400, so obviously there are a couple people already in. Why don't you join them? Jump on in. The water's fine. Tell us a little bit more.
The artist is drawn to nature, animals in particular. The artist's work leans generally towards impressionism and representational art, but the artist is not wedded to one special style and enjoys experimenting.
I really love the size of the piece. As you can tell, we're kind of far away from each other because we have to be, because this thing is 53 inches wide, and so it's really going to take up, I think, a statement part of your wall.
And it's repeat rabbits, but what you can see is each one has a distinct kind of personality, different shape and everything, so it's a lot of fun. Rabbits multiply, as they say, so you can just kind of see it going across the canvas, which is really fun.
You could buy more rabbit paintings and put them over there and create your own Fluffle collections.
The piece is also framed. I want to point out the framing. The frame is an Italian leather frame. So this frame is Italian leather, and I think it adds to that just very outside kind of fun feel to it.
And again, framed by Archival Gallery.
Yes.
That's so, and it really, I did not notice that that was leather, so that's leather.
Not only leather, but it's Italian leather.
That is amazing. For that alone, you should want to call in. We're going to check in right now on the phone bank.
Hi, you can't win Fluffle, and that's one of the big favorites here. It was in our award winners group for the auction, which means that one of our 5 jurors picked it as one of their favorites. That's number 6A, Fluffle 6. You can't get it unless you call 1-844-584-3278. We want to make this one into a bell ringer. This artist donates often to the artist. We're at $625. It's got a beautiful frame job, ready to go. Let's take one more look at all those cute little bunnies.
Dee, I think the bell ringing is going to happen. It's $625. It's so close already to the $700 retail value. So I think it is coming. You can make it happen. It's actually $650 right now. We're so close. So a couple people are on the line right now. It's going to happen.
Oh, we just heard it's a $200 frame.
Wow. Well, it's priceless. This piece of work is priceless. One of the things I love about it is the brush strokes and the texture. You can see the rabbits moving, and you can see their little fur, and the ears are just kind of moving too. So it's a really lot of fun, with, especially the contrasting colors that she chose with the yellow, and you can see the purples and the blues and the pinks. It's a lot of fun.
And it's a bell ringer. So now we have the rabbits joined by a bell, by the owl, Kenny the owl. It's animal mayhem.
It's very exciting.
All right, we're going to keep this open, but we need to move on to our next piece here at the KVIE Art Auction. And we're going to talk about item number 6B, and this is called Barnyard Mayhem. It's a photograph, and it measures 29 by 21. And this also was framed as part of our framing program. And this one was framed by Midtown Framing, and when you come and see it live, you're going to see that it's set off really nice, and it sets off this very interesting photograph. Tell us a little bit more about it, Kelly.
I absolutely love this piece. We were looking at it earlier, and the contrast and the colors and the depth and the vibrancy of it. This photograph itself, a little bit about how its origin. The artist was on a field trip to Yolo County almond orchard, and the artist heard a cacophony of sounds emanating from a nearby chicken coop, only to find a fight for dominance among the hens and their roosters. She said the artist said the drama as well as the colors and textures drew her in immediately, and this was a once-in-a-lifetime shot.
Well, I hope that that chicken right there ends up being okay. We've got some onlookers. Clearly, there are people involved in the mayhem. That's a lot of barnyard mayhem.
There's a lot of barnyard mayhem. It's really, really fun. And the artist image depicts colors, perspective, and movement, capturing the tones, colors, and drama of the moment and freezing it to the enigmatic experience of time in motion.
It's really fantastic, and I know we're going to try to get a little bit tighter on it so you can see it, but really crisp. The details on this, I think, are amazing, and we're looking for an opening bid right now to get you in. The value is $475, but you can jump in right now for the low bid, and maybe you'll win. You never know. You won't know unless you call.
Won't know unless you don't call. One thing I want to point out, the photo was digitally processed with edits limited to dodging, which means to hold back light to lighten an area on the print, as well as burning, which means to darken areas on the print. So, and there was also some light spot healing to eliminate unwanted artifacts that distracted from the main focus. And the main focus is this fight for dominance. You can see that beautiful center of focus where the feathers are flurry. That's the one part that's constantly in motion, and everything's such crisp detail.
Well, we had the art auction preview party on Monday, and this got a lot of attention. There's no way that you can walk up to this piece and just kind of casually walk by. It captures your eyes. You have to pay attention.
You have to pay attention.
Mayhem does that.
Mayhem does that. One of the things I liked that the artist said, just on her evolution as an artist, she's been fascinated with photography ever since her dad placed her finger on his realist 3D camera release button and said, count to 10 and then shoot.
Well, and really, I love it a lot, and but I can't bid because I'm doing this right now with you. But if you like it as much as I do, then go ahead and make that call. You can have the opening bid right now at 1-844-584-3278. That's 844-KVIE Art.
It's a lot of fun. And the artist, when she works on her photos, she uses different software like Lightroom and then proceeds to Photoshop as a foundation for different applications that lend tone, filters, and drama to the original image. And it provides, again, this word enigmatic moods that she wishes to convey. And everybody knows this scene and they're drawn into it. And we've all kind of felt like these chickens in the middle of the mayhem.
Well, we do have some bidding happening. That's great. We have a bid right now of $175. There's still room for you, though. And we're going to check in with Dee right now. And there's a little more fluffle.
We've got Barnyard Mayhem out there, number 6B. That was one of our award-winning photographs. Right now, that's at $300. It's got a retail of $475, framed and ready to go home. I am standing next to the absolutely gorgeous Fluffle 6. Big favorite with the staff members. Lots of buzz about this at the recent gala that we had. Again, another award winner. So there's 2 award winners in a row. We are currently at $700. It's still open for bids. It's item number 6A. You can only bid if you call 844-584-3278. We're near in the end.
of the auction for this evening, but we've got lots coming up, so let's check back out on the floor with Kelly and David.
And we are moving on to another piece, item 6C, but Barnyard Mayhem is at $450 right now towards its $475. So we've got a bidding war happening. That thing's going to be a bell ringer. Barnyard Mayhem, don't lose sight of that. Maybe we'll be able to check in and let you know where that one ended. But right now, item number 6C is Elderly Buddhist Monk on Teakwood Bridge, Myanmar, by David Ruderman. Kelly, tell us a little bit more about this photograph.
What I love about it, it's just so moody and it's so quiet and serene and peaceful. The artist has always been interested in photography, and he enjoys being in locations of great grandeur, but it's often the quiet and more overlooked scenes with these within these grand locations to which he's most drawn. And you can see that displayed in this very grand location, and I'll talk about the bridge in a moment, but there's this solitary monk that's right in the middle of the bridge, that's on his own personal private journey.
Well, and it takes a while to see that too. So I think, that's another great piece of art is you don't see it right away, and when you come up to it and then you say, wait a minute, that's not part of the bridge. There's a man there.
Yeah, and I love that he's in the middle of the bridge. So his journey, just at least looking to it, is in the middle of his journey, and where is he going and where is he coming from. The bridge that's shown in this photograph, it has been used in its location since 1850.
That's fantastic. And we should say a special thanks again to Archival Gallery, who provided the framing for this piece.
It's such a beautiful piece. A little bit more about the image itself. It's of an elderly Buddhist monk that was taken just moments after sunrise on the longest and oldest teakwood bridge in the world, located in Myanmar, formerly known as Burma.
Retail value of $700. We actually have a bid of $600 right now. That is on its way to being a bell ringer as well. And of course, this is an award-winning piece of art that you can have in your home. It won a Juror Award in photography along with Barnyard Mayhem.
It's really beautiful. And again, just the composition of it, I want to point out, you've got the angles going upwards and you've got the monk along here. But sometimes what's beautiful is what's not shown, and this negative space up here is just this expansive sky. And I think it adds to the mood of this piece.
I love it. And it's, if you think about this kind of color, maybe you're looking up at your wall and you go, this would really complement it. Well, you can make that happen by calling 844-584-3278, and you can make that next bid. But we're going to check in right now with Dee.
Okay, I'm laughing at this lady over here who's keeping somebody's visa warm. And we've got two bell ringers, the Fluffle at number 6A and number 6B, Barnyard Mayhem. We are on our way with number 6C, the Buddhist monk on the bridge. I'm at 625. I just need 700 to make it 3 bell ringers in a row. And we can only do that if you call 1-844-584-3278. These are sweet little pieces. You can take them home tonight, but only if you bid in the next 5 minutes. Let's go back out and see Dave and Kelly.
All right, we're just going to be able to spend about another minute or so with Elderly Buddhist Monk on Teakwood Bridge, Myanmar. Kelly, what else can you tell us about it?
I want to talk a little bit about the artist. He's won some past awards. He's quite accomplished. He's won Best of Show in the Multi-Dimensional Art Show at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, as well as Best of Division and first place in the California State Fair. He's been published in Black and White magazine, and he's also been displayed in a juried show at the Center for Photographic Art in Carmel, California.
And now an award from the KVIE Art Auction, which is a juror competition, and the artists love to be able to not only participate, but be jurred in, which is already an accomplishment, but then to win an award as well really is, I think, something for the resume. And it's a chance for you to win, right now on this one, win the bid for a Juror's Award in photography. $625 is the active current bid right now, towards a value of $700. And you can make this a bell ringer. $650 is the current bid. Now we're looking for probably $675, maybe even $700. Call in right now and just say, I want it for $700, and I will make that bell ring.
One more thing I want to point out. The artist said that the monk's bowed demeanor, and you can see that the monk is bowing, gave the artist a sense of spiritual understanding. So there's a very spiritual sense to this photograph as well.
Well, we are moving on to, the bidding is still open for item number 6C, but we are moving on to item number 6D, and 6D is actually titled V. By Ray Gonzalez. It's ceramic mixed media, has a value of $750. and very substantially sized piece that we even have to have someone holding right now. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yes, it's meant to be hung, I was told by the artist. And this work is part of an ongoing series that he's been working on for over 10 years, which explores surface, texture, and color.
Well, and as you can see now that we've come live, I mean, this really is a huge piece, and Jason's holding on to it, and it's not going to go anywhere.
No.
And if you are the winning bidder at the $750 value, he's going to come and hold it in your home forever. And that way you don't even have to worry about hanging on the wall. He'll just hold it for you.
Or I'll hang it up for you.
Well, not even that. Okay, I was just teasing. You'll have to figure out how to put it up there, but it will hold, and it's going to look amazing. This is a substantial piece.
It is. I also want to point out, you mentioned in the home, but it's also safe to display outside. The high temperature that the piece is fired at helps to make it impervious to the weather, so it can also be a great outdoor piece.
Oh, that's fantastic. You can sit there on a patio, and you can enjoy it when you're outside. We've got the cool fall weather in Sacramento right now. Why wouldn't you want to have this outside and be able to enjoy it? A current bid right now of $100. Make the next call yours. Let's check in with Dee.
I want to talk a little bit about the item we're looking at right now, number 6D. That was yet another one of our award winners. The only reason we don't have it hanging on a wall here is we have portable walls. So they don't hold a lot of weight. That piece is very easy to hang up. I've hung it up myself. It comes with a great rigging. It can either hang up or you can show it flat. Right now, I only have a bid of $100 on it. It's $750, and it is gorgeous. It is available right now if you call 1-844-584-3278. Again, that's V, the big bowl, 6D. We're going to take another look at it in the studio.
That's right, and this is an award-winning piece. It received the Juror Award in Sculpture. Really is fantastic. When we take the picture of it, you really can't tell the scale of it, but then, of course, when we show it live here on television, you can see just how substantial it is.
And David, I want to point out the different textures. So you can see these long lines. They're different textures going different ways. There's different finishes here. And the artist says that he uses techniques including, for clay, he likes to use different things to pick up imprints of heavily textured materials, using everything from an old wood grain from a table given to him, an ear of corn, the bark off the oak tree at a house where he grew up, which is now at his studio. So he employs a lot of different techniques into his art.
Well, I love the colors on it. It looks like there's a couple of different things going on. You know, it's shiny up here. You know, it's kind of more matted down there. Really is a fantastic piece that I think if you had people over, they'd want to talk about it quite a bit.
They'd want to talk about it. And it is called V, so you can kind of see the V that's inherent in the piece, kind of through the glazing and the shape of that there. Clay is his primary medium. He loves the weight of clay, the smell, the immediacy, the use throughout the ages, and the permanence of it.
All right, we are going to check back in with Dee in the phone bank right now.
It's another bell ringer, and I've got Kenny here with me. This piece, 6C, the Buddhist monk on the bridge, is at $775. We are still taking bids. Again, this was one of the winners, and you can still bid on it and make Kenny fly by calling 844-584-3278. We're going to keep it open for a few more minutes. Let's go back out and look at V.
All right, we have a bid of $125 on V right now, which is item number 6D. Actually, we now have a bid of $150. It's going to be moving up. This is going to move quickly because I think people are realizing how great this piece is.
It's a stunning piece. It's very monumental in size and scope, and it's just really beautiful and very organic. And one of the things I loved is when the artist talked about the serendipity of his work, and especially this piece. He says, although he's worked for decades with clay and can consistently build predictable works, he chooses not to. He likes the final glazing to leave that open to chance, and the serendipity by pouring, splashing, and blending glazes together, leaving the final result a mystery until he opens the final kiln firing.
Well, if you want to have a conversation piece of art in your home, I can guarantee you that this would be one of them, because it did garner a lot of conversation during our KVIE Art Auction preview party. A lot of people came by, they were talking about it. We're going to keep it open because it has a current bid right now of $250, but we need to move on. So call in right now for item number 6D. We're now here going to talk about item number 6E, and this is Talc Bowl by Jack Richardson, and it's stone, measuring 2 by 9 by 2. Retail value of $300, already has a bid
of $200. Kelly, tell us a little bit more about it.
This is a stunning, stunning piece. The bowl is functional. That's very important to know. And the body of the stone of the bowl is Sierra soapstone, and the rim is Montana talc. So he turned this out on a lathe. And for those who don't know, a lathe is a machine for shaping wood, metal, or other material by a rotating drive. The box that it comes in, it also comes in a box that the artist made himself out of California pine.
Fantastic. And so it's a gift box, but you don't have to gift someone else. You can gift yourself. That is okay.
Exactly. You can give it to yourself. The lathe that he turned it on is actually a wood lathe, a special one. It's very unique, built in Belgium. And he likes to use shapes taught him many years ago as a ceramic student. And he's also been playing with stone for 30 years to develop his unique style.
It's really an amazing piece. Again, another conversation piece at the art auction preview party, and I think you would love having this in your home. It's functional, it's beautiful, it's amazing art, and very accessible right now. With a current bid of just $200, you can jump in on the action. For $225 would be the next bid. Let's check in with Dee.
It just is hard to be a friend of Dee's when you're a big strapping lad. This is my friend Jason, who's come to help us out moving artwork today. He is holding the beautiful item number 6D, the bowl called V. We're at $350. It's got a value of $750. This is a centerpiece in your home. Can also go outside as well, and is very easy to install. All you have to do is call 844-584-3278, and you can be putting this in your, well, actually, he could be putting this in your car tomorrow. So give us a call, and we're going to go back and look at that little Jack Richardson bowl.
That's right, and it really is an amazing piece of art over here. Current bid of $200. You can jump in on the action right now. Just call 844-584-3278. That's KVIE 844 KVIE Art.
David, one of the things I wanted to talk about is the artist himself and how art comes to artists sometimes. He said he loved throwing clay, but he didn't have the chemistry to make his own glazes. Plus, his neighbors didn't really appreciate the big kiln in the backyard. So one night, he attached a piece of soapstone to a lathe, and he turned a really ugly bowl. That was some 20 years ago, and he hasn't thrown another piece of clay because he's been so in love with turning the stone.
Well, and there's nothing ugly about this. This really is great. And again, you can tell someone, they'll say, tell me a little bit more about this, and you can talk about the process and how it was made. You can talk about how there's really the two different pieces that make it up the one piece. Current bid of $200. Jump in on the action right now by picking up the phone and making that call.
Again, it's a functional bowl. He said the talc bowl represents the best work he is able to do, and the next one will be better. So this is an artist who's always going for the next better piece of art.
Well, and Jack is a longtime participant in the KVIE Art Auction, so we want to thank him for being so generous, and really thank you to all of the artists who take the time to create a piece and put it into the KVIE Art Auction, where it's then donated to KVIE, and then their hope is, of course, that we can raise as much money as possible out of each and every piece to power public broadcasting in our area. Now we've got, is this a bell ringer? It became a bell ringer. We talked about it enough. It's at $350 right now is the current bid. It's a bell ringer, and thank you, Jack, and thank you for that current bidder to be able to make that happen.
One other thing I will say, the artist uses material usually from boulders gathered in the wilds of Nevada and California, and these are cut into usable pieces with a chainsaw, cut again with a big bandsaw, and then into little circles.
Well, we are going to keep that piece open, so you can still call in right now as long as that bidding is still occurring. But we are here to talk about the final piece in tonight's collection, but don't worry, we're coming back at noon tomorrow. Item number 6F. Isn't it kind of fitting that we are ending with an owl?
Extremely fitting. I love this piece. It's so much fun. This artist, Paula, she is best known for her whimsical owls, rabbits, cats, and dogs. And this one's an owl.
And this is a value of $300 from the artist Paula Wenzel Belisara. Has a current bid of $125. And really, I think we're going to show right now, it's quite fun. I like it.
It's quite fun. The artist said, quote, she really likes her sculptures, and she hopes that her sculptures really engage viewers and encourage smiles and chuckles. And I think this one does.
Of course, you're chuckling and I'm smiling, so I think it does. Those bright green eyes,
You can just kind of look right into it, and it's kind of looking at you back.
It's really fun. It's got a stout little body. Its wings are ready for takeoff. She says her approach to art is a collaboration where the clay and her work together to discover hidden shapes and reveal emotions and personalities through animal forms. And you can definitely see the personality in this little owl.
And if you look at your home right now, and maybe you have one of those corners, one of those kind of corner shelf areas, this would go perfect right there.
It would go perfect right there.
It would go perfect anywhere, really, though.
Especially in a child's room, maybe, that you want to put some art in. I think this would be a great place. Her work, her intention, is to present the best of humanity through our animal companions, mirroring our ways and helping us to laugh and love our differences and ourselves. And I think you can see that goal is accomplished in this owl.
Current bid of $125. That is not even half of the current value. So right now, someone is really happy sitting on that $125 bid, but chances are it's not going to stay there because someone's going to go, you know, this belongs to me, and I'm going to call in and make that bid. But it has to happen when you pick up the phone. Dee, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting here holding this absolutely beautiful little talc bowl by Jack Richardson. It's number 6E. It is $375 is the current bid. We are at a bell ringer. It's made of stone, and as I have it in my hands, it's so cold and smooth and very tactile. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. We're keeping it open for only 2 or 3 more minutes. You got to call 1-844-584-3278, and you could take home this beautiful bowl tomorrow. Let's go see David and Kelly and that cute little owl.
And we are here. Let's make this a bell ringer. Let's end Friday night live in Sacramento with a bell ringer. But we can't do it without you because you've got to make that call and make that bid. Current bid of $200 right now. We're getting so close. We'd love to have that happen while we're live on the air with you.
And this definitely is worthy of a bell ringer because the artist is very accomplished. Just a random smattering of some of the places that she's been featured. She's been featured at Archival Gallery, Pence Gallery in Davis, the Morris Graves Museum in Eureka, SMA Art Gallery in San Francisco, and as far even as the Sacramento International Airport, and even the Siddhartha Gallery in Kathmandu, Nepal. So that's just a few of the places that she's exhibited.
Current bid of $250. It's going to get updated on your screen really quickly here. That's just $50 away from being able to ring the bell to end out Friday night. You know you want to see that happen. You want to make that happen. When you support KVIE, it makes it happen, and you are going to get an amazing piece of art here, this owl sculpture.
It's really fun. I personally love owls. They might be my favorite bird. She loves them too. She says the expression of this owl is quite all-knowing, perhaps with a bit of an instructive spirit.
We're ending with a bell ringer, by the way. We've got $300 right now, and that's it. That's all for the first day of the 37th annual KVIE Art Auction. Tune in tomorrow starting at noon for 10 more hours of live auction excitement featuring works from the Short Center, Gold Country Artist Gallery, the Artery, and more. Thanks for watching and for making art a part of your life on KVIE Public Television.